Beans! Hello, am I here? Yes, I'm here. No lefty audio, no lefty camera so far. Be on your best goddamn behavior tonight. Anyway, hi, everyone. How are we doing today? 20 viewers already waiting and like 19 likes. Look at that, that's amazing. I hope that you are enjoying the bug cam. They seem to be, you know, enjoying being observed as per usual. So, hello, Shade, what's up? Donu Mayowo, there's Trans Girl Shade. Jade, hello, oh my god. I can't talk or read, apparently. Oh, god. Tuesday, it is Tuesday. Love the new backdrop, thank you. Yes. I love the little background and like my little pagan altar thing going on over here. Isn't that lovely? Evie the Purple, what's up? Let's go! Yes. We have some fun stuff to talk about today. We're talking about Biden, and we're talking about trans people, and like pro-trans people outnumbering anti-trans people, and other such things. I'm not enjoying the website on mobile. Yeah, I know, Andy's. It's kind of still super buggy. It's a work in progress. Looking cozy. Yeah, it was cold. But here's the thing. I'm wearing a white tank top, and I will take off my hoodie if we get to the dono goal. And I'll, like, flex or do infinite push-ups or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Dono goal. We have one. We're nearing the end of the month. But it's, you know... I think that this just is a weird time of year. I always thought that it was because I take, like, such a restricted schedule during these months, but like I think that September is actually like a rough month for people financially just because like very few donos, and it's like as far as I can tell nothing else is different, so no worries. I'm laying in bed in pain, so I'm on mobile. Oh no, pain days are the worst, absolutely the worst. Back to school, yeah, that's a good point. Oh, it's like do I have a lot of students donating to me? That would, or like I guess parents perhaps. Yeah, they got to spend a lot of money getting the school year started. Maybe so. Regardless, not a big deal to me. I have like my side job that I do seasonally at Ye Old Renaissance Fair during this time of year. So I got other stuff going on. 27 viewers in here to talk about Biden and transphobia losing. Amazing. Thank you all for coming in to hang out. Hit the like button, as per usual. We are going to start talking about the news stuff at like, let's say 6 o'clock, you know? We usually try to convene as just human people for the first little while on stream. A lot of the times it's for the first entire hour, but I don't know if that's really feasible on the days that I start a little bit later. So maybe we can just do a little bit of time here at the beginning of the stream, and then at about 6 o'clock, we'll start talking about Biden and all that jazz. I also have a video that I might want to react to, and I think that that'll be fun to do as a kind of surprise toward the end of stream. What's up, Panda? This might be the earliest I'm able to attend. I'm usually hella late. Nice. I'm excited that you're able to be here and enjoy the vibes with us. Jade is perpetually in broke bitch mode. Oh, yeah, completely. Like, listen, I would not be able to donate to any streamers that I follow right now, so do not blame you whatsoever. Completely understand. I am, like, so out of breath right now. I think it's because my nose is doing that thing where I can't breathe through it. That's what I get for existing during ragweed season. Anybody else? Ragweed? Still? It's been several weeks now, and I'm just, alright, like, waiting for it to be over. Oh, well. So, yeah, I've been, like, because I've been avoiding Twitter, I don't always know, like, what's the best stuff to talk about on the show. So, but that's kind of, like, what I've scraped together today is, like, a little bit, when I say I scraped it together, I mean mostly people in the Discord made suggestions. Donald Trump had a thing happen. We got this Biden thing. We got this, like, anti-trans march in Canada. And then, yeah, our little reaction. And otherwise, like, how is everybody's weekend? My dad's allergic to ragweed. Yeah, it's definitely like an itchy, like snot time of year. Yes, Neutroy. I forgot how you said that that's pronounced. Glad your weekend was good. I played Starfield all weekend. Excellent. She ragging on my weed till I at you. True. Yeah, I am doing my thing out at the Renaissance Festival, making a little money on the side, enjoying I guess like as much as I don't like the allergies, I still am enjoying like getting some touch grass time. It's good to take a step away from the Twitter. Pretty good, all things considered. I got RP's website redone and updated and accomplished a lot. Good, yeah. We were redirecting people to rainbowpassage.org recently, and they were like, the website's down, and I was like, what? Because I haven't been keeping track of what's going on in the Discord server. So I'm glad that you got it figured out, though. Rainbowpassage.org is up and running again. Weekend was chill. Those protests ruined my week, but we survived. Uh-oh, which protests? Cleaned house and played Final Fantasy this weekend. I touch grass every day. It my job. Excellent. Don't touch the ragweed grass. No, don't. If you're gonna mess with weeds, you need to put on some gloves. Hoping for some positive news. All I can seem to find on YouTube is transphobia, not support, which is what I am looking for. Yeah, yes, Phoebe, the Canada March. We're going to be talking about how pro-trans allies outnumber anti-trans. What's up, Baphomet? The anti-trans people. I'm allergic to grass. Well, it's just an expression, okay? Go be outside and away from your computer for a little while. I was at the march in Toronto. Oh, nice. Prosy Rosie, I'm not dead. I'm temporarily not doing Sunday streams, so sorry if we've been missing y'all on Sundays, but now we do Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we need more likes on the stream. Perpetually, always need more likes. I am never gonna not be hungry for likes, okay? Like, Dragon stomps in, wants to eat more likes. More. We were outnumbered 4-1 at least. Oh no, that's not good. Marcella says that was not the case in my city. We were outnumbered. Oh, that's rough. But I'm in central Canada, which is conservative country. Okay, well, I'm glad that, yeah, overall, it trended the other direction. Oh, Baphomet, you are feeling a little bit erratic today, aren't you? Yes, feed me. Feed me, Seymour. Give me the likes. Laying out likes like sushi. That's very funny because I did eat sushi today. It was fine. Maybe it's just that it's Midwest sushi. I don't know, man. Partial parasocial. I missed us. Oh, true. Oh, thanks, Prosy Rosie. I missed us too. The anti-trans side was disgusting, but at least we had them outnumbered. Another counter-protest on Friday in Scarborough was not so lucky, though. We had a rally for trans kids on Sunday, and it was big. They weren't there last week. Oh, okay. What's up, drums? Welcome in. We're getting very close to 50 concurrent viewers. The more that you hit the like button, the more viewers we get. The closer we get to 50 viewers. I had hoped earlier this summer that we would be able to push into having like maybe like try to consistently have 100 or so people in streams, and we're not quite there, but I think we can get it within the next year if we continue to talk about aggressively political stuff during streams. I don't know that it's going to work otherwise. Do you like rap? If so, there's this drag queen named Lemon who makes such good music. I almost lost my mind. No, I'm not familiar with that person, but I do like rap. I'm definitely a fan of like nerdy rap. Political drama is fine by me. I mean, yeah. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's the direction I want to take my life, where like that's all I can talk about, you know? There's got to be some mixture in there. I got excited when you said food music. I want that. Yes! What is food music? What is that? How do we define that? I mean, the drag queen is named Lemon, which kind of makes it sound like it could very easily segue into food rap. And like food music. Someone's got something in there. We just sparked someone's $1 million idea. Oh my god, excuse me. Delicious, delicious, yummy food. Please talk about the monkeys. Oh, I don't want... have we not already talked about the Neuralink monkeys? Oh god, at some previous time on stream. I have not listened to Planet of the Base. Yeah, but did we not at some previous time on the stream talk about the Neuralink monkeys? I don't know what else there is to say. I want the internet in my brain, if possible. But I don't want, you know, I don't want to, like, die, which was the case with almost all of the monkeys that they put Neuralinks into. But yeah, like, if you missed it, I can't remember talking about the Neuralink monkeys. I think it must have been during some general Elon Musk thing that maybe didn't make it onto the channel as a segment. But, yeah, I mean, like, like, basically every single monkey died. Like, where's the article? Someone posted it in the Discord server. I appreciate when you guys post links in the Discord server, because it makes it so that I know what to talk about on stream. Which is good. I like knowing what you guys want to hear about. The monkeys died because of poor care, not the implant. Okay. Terrible things happened. Oh my god. Nope, I don't want the email address. Thank you. Terrible things happened to monkeys after getting Neuralink implants, according to veterinary records. I love this little setup. Isn't it so wonderful? I just can't get over how good EB did at this. It's so nice. Look at me with my little name tag. So cute. Wow. Anyway, let's see. The monkeys who died during the Neuralink trials were, quote, terminal cases, quote, close to death already, making it clear that none of them perished as a result of the biotech company's brain implants. Documents reviewed by Wired, as well as testimony from a former employee, contradict Musk's claims entirely, and the details are as upsetting as they are damning, adding to a mounting case against the safety of Neuralink's devices. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. The timing couldn't be more exigent either, with Neuralink announcing on Wednesday that it's recruiting subjects for human trials. The harrowing casualty report, per veterinary records obtained by Wired, says up to a dozen monkeys suffered grisly fates after receiving a Neuralink implant, including brain swelling and partial paralysis. The monkey Animal 20, in December 2019, an internal part of the brain implant being inserted into the primate, quote, broke off during surgery. Later that night, the monkey scratched at the implant site, drawing blood, yanked on the implant, partially dislodging it. Follow-up surgery discovered that the wound was infected, but that the placement of the implant prevented treatment. The monkey was euthanized the following month. So, like, yeah, I guess I'm just guessing that's going to continue going along this way. I think the problem is the Neuralink to begin with. I mean, like, why is this being done in monkeys? Did they do it in mice first? Like, that's what I'm saying, Neutroid. Like, is not happen to mice? Why would you not do it with rats and stuff? Who hypothetically can't reach and, like, pull the thing out. I don't know. Anyway, a female monkey began to press her head against the ground after receiving the brain implant, picking at the site until it bled, and eventually she lost coordination. shivering when personnel would enter the room. Scientists discovered that she had brain bleeding, and in March 2019, she too was euthanized. Pigs were first? Why? I don't understand. Size, maybe? I guess so. Like, the mice brains are too small for the chips? Yeah, exactly, uncomfortable. They cannot figure this out with humans, but they're trying to do this, sorry, they cannot figure this out with monkeys, and they're already trying to do humans. Seems like none of the monkeys wanted anything to do with something so invasive. Yeah, so maybe their thinking is, oh, if we do it with humans, they won't, like, pick at it. But I don't know, man. It's like putting something in your brain, and just stuff that you put in your brain, I can imagine that the body might have, like, different, like, immunological responses to that. Could you get the billionaires to sign up, like the sub? Maybe. I think that's a great idea. I think that they should make this, they should charge a disproportionate amount of money to be part of the trials. Like, you have to pay Elon Musk to be part of the trials, and then we'll be able to get a bunch of rich people interested, and then they'll do it, and it'll be amazing. See? That's how it works. The following year, a primate called Animal 22 was put down in March 2020 after its brain implant became so loose that the screws attaching it to the skull, quote, could easily be lifted out. The failure of this implant can be considered purely mechanical and not exacerbated by infection. This statement alone seemingly contradicts Musk's claims that no monkeys directly died from Neuralink brain implants. And so would the account of an ex-Neuralink employee who told Wired that Musk's claims that the monkeys were already terminally ill are, quote, ridiculous and even a, quote, straight-up fabrication. We had these monkeys for a year or so before any surgery was performed, the ex-employee said. The testimony of an anonymous scientist conducting research seems to corroborate the ex-employee's allegations. These are pretty young monkeys, they told the magazine. It's hard to imagine these monkeys, who were not adults, were terminal for some reason. An ethics group known as the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine has sent letters to U.S. Securities Exchange Commission demanding an investigation. Yeah, so apparently it was pretty gnarly. There's a much better company and implant on the market that uses the veins instead of anything that goes through the skull. Interesting. I mean, I don't think that I'm comfortable with any of this yet. It's definitely going to be a while. Look at the problems people have with piercings, and implants are way more invasive. Truly, right. The only way to do this is through electrobiosynthetic implants with no external attachments. Like, the technology is just, I don't know that we're there yet. It's just going to be a little while before we're there yet. Is green good? Are we liking green as the background? I feel like I'm just going to, like, settle on green. Does that seem okay as the background color? I don't know. But yeah, I don't even know if we have the ability to make the materials that are required to not have your body try to, like, reject it or not get an infection. I mean, we're talking about the blood-brain barrier here, I'm too old to feel comfortable with this, I think. It still feels like the far-off future. Green is good? Okay. This is on someone getting speech back from it. What's up, Ursa? Okay, this is a UC San Francisco video about how a brain implant and AI gave a woman with paralysis her voice back. Interesting. Probably not going to watch that whole video because I think that this channel is not very big, actually. Interesting. Oh, this is the implant in skull, not the veins thing. Okay. But it's still neat, the concept that she, like, using AI is able to, like, it's like taking probably brain waves from her speech center of her brain and making it come out a computer screen is what it looks like. Yeah, there's like a thing. Hold on, let me make this bigger for you. There's like a thing on her head, and it's hooked up to something, and it's making this, like, AI avatar thing do stuff. So it's like reading her speech part of her brain, seems like. This is different from the Neuralink. Yeah. Bioengineering has already come up with biological micro-delivery systems for targeted drug administration. That's cool. I have an overactive autoimmune system, so my body would probably reject any implant. Right. You know, unless it's, I don't know, because people get like pacemakers, yeah? And you don't have to take immunosuppressant drugs, or do you? Do you have to take immunosuppressant drugs if you get, like you can get like titanium parts to replace your bones and stuff, and like that's fine, right? Do you take immune suppressants after pacemaker? What medication do you take after pacemaker? I guess you don't have to take... Right, because it's not like the same as an organ transplant where you're trying to prevent your body from attacking the organ for having different organic material in it. These things have bio-friendly coatings that are surgical grade. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. Like silicone is a thing that you can get, you know, like when trans men or cis men, I guess, like when men who don't currently have a testicle would like a testicle, they can put a silicone one in and your body won't like reject it. So yeah, there's like bio-friendly materials that you can cover the stuff in, and you don't need immune suppressants for metal implants. Yeah. I would not be surprised if in a couple years Musk tries turning people into batteries like the Matrix. He would do that kind of dumb thing because it's been thoroughly demonstrated that humans make terrible batteries. Oh, okay, I had a friend who did titanium implants. She did not mention immune suppressants, but she did need to have her implants replaced because the metal wasn't pure enough. They were recalled. I hate that so much in our system is reactive. Like, harm has to be done, and then a reactive thing happens. Like, your friend had to have at least two surgeries, because someone, like, didn't do quality control on their product, and it wasn't pure titanium that someone's replacement bones are going to be made out of. So dumb. What's up, mama? We're just kind of chilling for the next couple minutes. We're going to start talking about the news here in a moment, and then we'll get things kicking off. You can get something called implant sickness, which is an autoimmune reaction to scarring pockets surrounding the implants, which is common in people with autoimmune disease who have had breast augmentation. Interesting. Some people are allergic to silicone, sure. But I feel like you would know that before you would come into contact with silicone elsewhere in life before you got a surgery, probably. I mean, one would certainly hope, but whatever. Look at how long my hair is getting, by the way. I'm just going to take a brutal aside. There's 50 viewers in here, by the way. Hit like, because we're about to start talking about the serious news here in like 2 minutes. But look at how long my hair is. Hold on, let me get up in the chair. Yeah. My hair is so long, and it's all curly today. So it's even longer. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Behold the luscious locks. I know. Yeah, and I'm going to grow out the back of my hair, too, so that it will, I'll have, like, a lot more hair. Wouldn't that be lovely? See? I'm growing it out back here. It's going to be amazing. I'm very excited. Well, oh my gosh, we're getting so close to 50 likes. That's all I want out of today's stream, is 50 likes. And then I'll shift the goalpost to wanting something else. Imagine living in Silicon Valley with a silicone allergy. True. Uncomfortable is enjoying their dicks. Thank you very much. It's usually a sickness caused by an overactive immune system rather than a direct reaction to silicone. Fair enough. in my case, doing an allergy test, I react to everything, not because of the allergen specifically, but my body just launches an autoimmune response to anything. Oh no. Like literally every stimuli, your body's like, no, get out of here. No. I forgot to tell you all, Michigan is on an automotive production strike. At least I think it's just Michigan. Not sure what this means for my cousin working at Ford. Yeah, one of the things we are planning to talk about today is Biden going to the picket line on the UAW strike. I think that they're striking. They voted to strike. I don't know if they're actually doing it yet. But, yeah, I've heard that they're going to be striking. Recently got a new Packer strap for my dicks, and it's giving euphoria. Nice. Ooh, Packer strap. What a great sentence. It's got good echolalia. Packer strap. Packer strap. Packer strap. Packer strap. I need some quality dicks in my life. True. I feel for y'all. Now there's a band name. Packer strap. Packer strap. I just want to keep saying it because it has good mouthfeel. Jeez Louise. Okay, I'm looking at my news. Trans punk band name. They are striking, been doing strategic incremental strikes for a couple weeks, and they are ramping up the pressure. Yeah, I was looking at Biden's appearance earlier today as well. There is a band called Jockstrap. Oh no. Is it common to have multiple dicks in the strap? I've wondered about that. I don't think that they're typically made that way. We did 50 likes. Yes. We made it. Packer strap, pack rat. My Packer strap is actually just a jock strap. Packer strapped. True, drums. True. I knew some trans chicks. We thought of doing a country metal band for the memes. A country metal band comprised of a bunch of trans girls. I feel like you could do a lot with that, comedy-wise, for sure. Makes my booty look nice. Ooh woo. Jockstrap and make the booty look nice. It lifts and doesn't separate. Because that's not what you want with a booty elaborator. I'd buy some albums, true. My ex is a singer in an all-trans punk band called Transy Warhol. That's pretty solid. Strapped and packing. You know you're ready. You know you're ready for it when you're strapped and packing. Well, you know, I was thinking that maybe I was going to go grab myself a beer, and then we could start talking about the news. How does that sound? I fumbled hard on that one. Oh no, mama. No. Now you just get to be a single person. Oh no, you're not even single. You have another partner right now, aren't you? I was going to say you get to be a single person doing porn. Oh no. Like, I feel like that would still be fun. But, you know, all's fair in love and war. Stay hydrated, y'all. Okay. I'm going to grab a beer out of the fridge. And I'll be right back. And then we'll talk about the news. We have like 3 news items and we're going to talk about... Oh, that was like 4 relationships ago. I see. Googling packing strap just resulted in those adjustable straps for loading up your truck with heavy stuff. True. A strappingly large pecker. Okay. Don't go anywhere. Because I'm only going to be gone for like 20 seconds. Okay? BRB. Okay, I'm back, and I have a drink. Good. We are ready to go. I went to the fridge and got the sody pop. How is it Lux is drinking the booze and I'm drinking water like a good girl? This is highly irregular. I am doing some moderated drinking, okay? You gotta do only a little bit and keep it in check. At least you can drink. I'm having more fun without alcohol, though. It did hit my family bad for a while. Right, yeah, and I've definitely had my times where I've had bad habits around alcohol, okay? And, like, none of us is perfect. So, cheers when you can do it safely. Drink sody pop otherwise. Get you a carbonated water. Get you a sparkly water. I used to be a professional drinker. Oh, were you a bartender? Yummy. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this stream. Keeping it bumpin'. Okay, okay. It was nothing for me to blow $1,000 on beer for a week at the house. Oh my god. See, that's one reason why I think it's not worth it to, like, be someone who drinks alcohol on the regular. It's like, it's just so expensive. Vices are expensive. I save money, not like a huge amount, but I save money not like vaping and not drinking that much, you know? Me and like 4 friends, we partied hard. Worked harder. worked, you partied hard, worked harder. Excuse me. Most alcoholic things I've had were either untasty or just tasted exactly like some other non-alcoholic drink. I've had like 1 glass of wine that was tasty. See, that's the thing about alcohol, is that it's not really supposed to be tasty. I mean, you can get like a nice cocktail that does the thing for you, and it's like it's getting you to the drunk place and also like taste good, right? But for the most part, like, alcohol as a concept doesn't taste good. It's not really about that. I can drink safely, but I just bought a Mountain Dew, so still opening a soda pop. Cheers to your Mountain Dew. Yeah, some people just don't like being drunk. No worries. Okay. What should we talk about first, y'all? Should we get the Biden thing out of the way? Talk about the election a bit? What's up, Mersh? Welcome in. My Eurotrash palate likes bitter and astringent flavors, so I find straight gin tasty if it's a nice one. Eric, how do you feel about New Amsterdam brand gin? Because I think it's a pretty mellow gin. I hate being drunk, just makes me sick for days. I'm a lightweight, though I talk big. I don't like being past 2 to 3 drinks. Yeah, you know, be good. Be careful. Take care of your bodies. Oh, ooh, I wanted to say, while we're deciding what news to talk about first, we have, obviously we have the Biden thing, we have the anti-trans march thing, and we have, a Donald Trump thing. But while we're deciding, hello, Gayfesh! I don't like drinking anymore because it makes me an asshole. Fair enough. I'll keep that in mind if we ever hang out. I mean, you know, probably eventually it's more of a when. Like, whenever we hang out, I will, keep in mind that you're not a very fun drunk. Anyway, I'm in the process of making, like, 35 or more. I don't know, I'm at 35 as my count right now of how many I'm supposed to make. These are mushroom bottoms. And I'm gonna make, like, the tops of them eventually. This is 12 so far. I have 12 mushroom bottoms because I'm making favors for all of my friends at the Renaissance Festival. Yes, they're bottoms. I'm making bottoms. Do we really need to talk about Donald Trump? I mean, we're just gonna meme on him a little bit. It's just a little funny news, and then we'll move on with our day. You know? I like my stimmies because it makes me feel neurotypical. all of my stimmies are like destructive to my body in some way. Like I stim by like rubbing my teeth together, my jaw like rubs side to side and my teeth rub together, or like I run my fingers through my hair and give myself a bald spot in the front of my hair because I'm like basically pulling my hair out constantly. Yeah, I don't like my stims. I need to replace my stims with something else. Too many bottoms at the party is never a good look. I know. All these bottoms are in need of a top. Can you help give these bottoms a top? I can honestly say that I've never been drunk. I mean, that's a good solid record. You might as well keep it. What's up, Seaside Hill Witch? I have to say this. Transphobia is rooted in misogyny, and you cannot be a feminist and transphobic at the same time. I mean, I just don't disagree with you. I'm very much agreeing with you on that, for sure. Listen, let's not do smuggy chat. We're not doing smuggy chat. It's too early. One top for all these bottoms. That's a harem. Yeah, I know. Me, the top, and then all of my bottoms. It's a harem. Don't let me get all engaged in a thing like when people said Xander Hall was doing a harem. I gotta be careful about that. Someone's gonna be like, oh, Luxander's 29 and has a harem of bottoms. I don't know. Yeah, we gotta talk about unions to get aroused. We gotta talk about unions in order to get it up. So let's do that. Man, it's still so sad that I had 4,000 followers on Twitter and it's fucking dead now. Sell Twitter, Elon. Let someone fix it so that it doesn't suck anymore. I miss when Twitter didn't suck. I know, I'm pathetic. It's pathetic that I'm like, I miss Twitter, but I do. Sad. I'm such a disappointment. This color is glitchy AF. Is that? You can still see it a decent amount with that green. It's not as bad. But this green, this is not where it's at. Excuse me. Baphomet, how dare you being gone? You have nothing to lose but your chains. And whips. Oh, goodness. Okay, so... am I even gonna... is this... I'm imagining actually trying to put forth the energy of like, this is gonna be a YouTube segment in the future. And, like, maybe it's just not gonna be. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I think that this is noteworthy because it's the first time a sitting president has joined a picket line, or at least the first time that a modern sitting president has joined a picket line. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the United Auto Workers Union, UAW, is striking currently. They're doing like little strikes. Not like one big coordinated strike. I mean, it's all coordinated, but they're doing smaller coordinated strikes to just squeeze the auto industry and like put pressure on them. At least that's what I gather. But this is the first time that a president has gone down and joined. So Biden is really pushing this like I'm pro-union thing, which kind of interestingly makes him one of the most leftist presidents in modern history, like one of the most technically progressive, like the most class betraying, I guess, which is kind of weird considering that he's Biden. But let's just go ahead and watch this thing, and I won't hold you in suspense any further.
The fact of the matter is that you guys, the UAW, you saved the automobile industry back in 2008 and before.
Hold on, maybe let's try to start this over.
One thing is real simple, and to be very brief. The fact of the matter is that you guys, the UAW, you saved the automobile industry back in 2008 and before. Made a lot of sacrifices. Gave up a lot, and the companies were in trouble. But now they're doing incredibly well. And guess what? You should be doing incredibly well too. The simple proposition.
So if you couldn't hear all that garbled nonsense, it was basically like Biden saying, you guys saved the auto industry back in 2008. You know, y'all made a lot of sacrifices. You gave up a lot, and the companies back then were in trouble. Now they're doing incredibly well, and guess what? You should be doing incredibly well too. It's just like supporting them in their attempt to negotiate for better pay or better working conditions. I haven't looked into specifically what the United Auto Workers Union is striking for, but I mean, yeah, basically it's like better work conditions, better pay, etc. Auto factory work is trash. They do so much for the economy in terrible conditions. It's fucked. So good. Yeah. They're trying to at least get paid commensurately for the amount of BS that they take on in terms of terrible work conditions, if not also advocating for better work conditions. Because remember, UPS was not just advocating for better pay, but they were advocating to get like air conditioner units in the vehicles because the drivers are just going around not having air conditioning. They like sometimes you'll have a little fan, at least from my experience at the USPS. Like they had a little, literally just a fan to blow air, but no AC. And you only really have heat because the heat in a car comes off of the engine. So this is a hell of a lot better than Ronald Reagan. Reagan hurt unions terribly when he sided with the airlines against air traffic controllers in the 1980s. Biden's Department of Labor appointee is a union person, I think. Right. So I think, honestly, that in a way, Biden is trying to get some of the sort of Republican audience that's not super Trumpish. Because, like, honestly, a lot of these workers are Trumpers, right? Like, people who work in intensive industries, like who work in factories, who work in middle America, a lot of those folks are going to be Republicans, if not outright Trump supporters. So in a way, it's like supporting unions is this historically leftist thing, like this historically leftist concept to support unions in particular. Like it's honestly, I think that it's just at this point, left and right is more keenly defined by the social issues rather than the financial issues. Like, I do think that there are a decent number of union members who are like trash Republicans who are going to appreciate that, like, Trump, as opposed to Biden, is not really like as supportive. Now, I've heard that he did go down and give a speech of some kind, like in the vicinity of the picket line in Michigan, but that he wasn't actually there on the picket line. I don't actually know. Like, I haven't looked into whether Trump actually went down there or not, but being such a like rich man's guy, I just don't know if Trump is going to maintain the support of the average Republican unless people really do genuinely view Trump as like, oh yeah, he's the Republican candidate. He's the guy. I'm a Republican and Trump is the guy. I just think that increasingly there is a contingent of what you would consider like, yeah, Republicans who are, I guess, like closer to the center as far as Republicans go. Because I don't know that there are as many people as we imagine being like roped into the serious bigotries of today's social environment. Like, it's been shown that a lot of these candidates who are campaigning hardcore on transphobia are not, in fact, winning, which is cool. You know, it's reassuring, and it indicates that their base is not really turned on by this rhetoric. As we know, it doesn't take a majority to do a fascist overtake of a government, and like doesn't take a majority to kill trans people and like make our lives worse. So it's not anything to be complacent about, but I would say that this is, to me, it's reading as a tactic to, especially because he's going in and speaking on the picket line of the United Auto Workers Union, as opposed to the SAG-AFTRA or the Writers Guild of America or UPS. Like, he's specifically going to the auto workers picket line because I think the auto workers represent a kind of rough and tumble middle American centrist that he's trying to appeal to on the Democrat side. He's trying to say, hey, I know, you don't recognize this Republican Party anymore. Let Joe do it for you. And this is why Joe is a problem. Like, let me be totally clear. The fact that Biden wants to appeal to this particular group of people, the specific thing that he is doing that I've just outlined, the reason why it's bad is that it means that the Overton window is getting pulled that direction. Like, that he feels that he has to appeal to those people instead of just appealing to the further left. Like, he's appealing to folks in the center right and not appealing to folks on the actual left, which is like, you're going to lose elections more and more frequently by doing that, because there is like a growing contingent of people who feel pretty frustrated by the fact that they're not being represented at all in their government. Like, even Ocasio-Cortez, who is the person who I retweeted talking about this, first president in modern American history to join a union picket line. That's in no small part thanks to a modern surge in worker organizing and record public support of unions. Keep going. It's like, I remember she used to be way more outspoken, and then she got elected and she had to tone it down, and she was the closest I've felt to feeling represented in the federal government. And it's just like, not, even people like her get de-radicalized somewhat by being party to the system, like being part of it. Yeah, he's trying to pick up disgruntled Republicans. Exactly. To be clear, Trump is not being pro-union. New York Times, Reuters, and AP really shit the bed on this story. They reported, quote, Trump and Biden go to support striking workers in their headlines, when in fact, Trump is going to a non-union business to talk to non-union workers. UAW did not invite him and have not spoken to his campaign as they did with Biden's. That's good to know. Yeah, so Trump is trying to pretend he's trying to like cash in on Biden's good work in a way through the misreporting of this story, but he's not actually making any progress. Biden is better in this department than labor, to be frank. Better than labor, huh? You should see the state of the rail services in the UK. Our government wants to cut as many jobs as possible in order to automate the rail services. Incredible. TBH, I couldn't care less if Biden is internally a fan of unions or labor. As long as he feels he's got to be Union Joe to win election, I will take the W's. Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's a fair point. It doesn't matter what lies in his heart of hearts. Like, the fact that he's doing... Well, the problem is that he'll do this and claim to be on the side of workers as an election promise and then not follow through on it, which, I just don't... It just depends on what comes of it, how much credit you can really give him. But yeah, if he is doing things that are lending support, or not just lending support, it's like, is he using any amount of his executive power to do something in support of unions? Or is he directing his folks in Congress to like start writing laws protecting workers' rights? I guess after the rail strike, he broke the rail strike, but then he also helped negotiate, or Biden's administration in general helped to negotiate a better contract or something. So it ended up not being as bad. It's just like the second aspect of it didn't catch as much wind after he broke the strike. Excuse me. Labor is literally abandoning all their points to basically become conservative party too. I mean, that's the scary thing about all of these Western countries right now, is that our allegedly left-wing parties are gradually becoming more and more conservative, and there is increasingly no left-wing representation in government. And like it's, you know, the US has never been great about this, but you know, in the UK, you've had your Labour Party and we have our Democratic Party, and they've just both been gradually getting further and further to the right. What's up, Corpse Candy? So many Republicans would fit in leftist spaces if they could get over their bigotry. American left and right is like right and center, but unions are technically more of a leftist thing. And then the social issues people get washed up in. Yeah. I do think it would be funny. Like, Republicans, yeah, they do hate unions because they require dues in the same, so for the same reason that they hate taxes. But it is interesting to see that so many Republicans are class conscious. They're just not aware that they're class conscious. And we can't, like, readily accept them into leftist spaces because of the harm that they will do to minorities in those spaces because of their bigotries. But, like, if you could just get over how racist you are, we could be, like, united in class consciousness. Class consciousness, exactly, Sasha B. I'm gonna summon the MAGA communists. He's having a hard time doing as much as he would like due to the Republican Congress. They have control over the House and Senate, and that makes it hard even if Democrats have the Senate. Also, SCOTUS is definitely not Biden's friend. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's obvious that the, you know, obstruction is certainly occurring, right? It's just that, you know, I would hope to see something substantial besides just, you know, Biden shows up to talk through a megaphone. This is a good point. TBH, I feel like Joe standing with unions shows that the administration doesn't feel threatened by labor. There was a time labor would show up at their corrupt boss's house with torches and pitchforks. Right, yeah, like to some extent, is the union itself being co-opted in the same way that all other labor organization gets co-opted by the corporate machine? Like, I think that's kind of fair that the unions have been made docile by just the process of, like, history over the past 100 years or whatever. Like, it was originally setting people's houses on fire and killing bosses for being unfair and things like this and destroying property and all this. And now it's like, oh, you know, unions, the way that unions get what they want is by striking and picketing and definitely not violence. And then, so because the image of unions has been so sanitized, now the Democratic Party can join in and be like, yeah, we are pro-labor. We like the workers. Not realizing that, like, we are actually in a situation where we could very easily turn back to burning people's houses down and, like, killing people, you know? I'm not saying that that's, like, a desirable outcome. I'm just saying that it's a realistic outcome when wealth disparity is as bad as it is. A lot of them are rubes whose class consciousness doesn't extend beyond aesthetics. A lot of the people we're talking about will support the UAW strike, but not the WGA SAG-AFTRA because snooty libs. I guess that's true, Mama. To some extent, it's like, it's still team sports. They're still going, I don't want this person to win, and I do want this person to win. I don't want these people to be successful, but I do want these people to be successful. I do think these people deserve more, but I don't think these people deserve more. I personally saw General Electric sell out to the management regarding employee health care. They took a small buyout and negotiated in a way that caused people not to have health insurance when they retired. Amazing. Like, keep in mind, y'all, that cops are union members. Like, almost every single cop in the United States is a member of the police union So let's not act like unions still have the same kind of power that they used to, or the same association that they used to. Anyway, cheers. Yummy, yummy. Beer is good. Oh, there's another angle to look at on this as well that I just completely neglected. Eric says, unions, like the WGA is a union of artists versus the industry, which is held up in propaganda as the bones of the country for most of the 20th century. It's not shocking Biden prefers auto unions, not entertainment workers. So another thing about this is that this continues to show Biden's hostility to the environment. Like, Biden's active hostility toward climate change initiatives is also on display here because, yeah, the auto workers, he's like, we need to support the auto industry and support the rights of the workers in this thing because, this is the background. This is like the backbone of the American economy. Like, yeah, we're just going to continue hinging our economy on a fossil fuel industry and like continues gradually eroding the health of our planet, essentially. Cops are also civil servants. No, they're not. I don't know what gave you that impression. Until the Rust set shooting last year, I think that was, most people didn't take film workers at their word about how dangerous sets are. My boyfriend has a crush injury from a dangerous set and was a contractor, so no workman's comp. His situation is standard. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm talking about the United States. And, like, you guys don't have a police brutality problem over there where police shoot people all the time. So, obviously, we're talking about two different places. Like, the history of the United States and its government's relationship to unions. Yes, cops are an occupying military in the service of capital. Yes, cops are servants to capital. They're not civil servants, for sure. Anyway. I'm pretty sure the UK cops have brutality issues as well. Sure, yeah. I mean, there was, like, that entire protest thing around UK police officers, like, being part of the danger of sexual assault towards women. So, sure, like, different levels of police brutality. It's like a different set of problems. US is local police force heavy. UK is dedicated police force heavy. I guess fair enough. Right, exactly, Corpse Candy. Cops are inherently class traitors because if being trans becomes a criminal offense, any more than it already seems to be, who is going to enforce that, regardless of location? That's true, yeah. But it was like, yeah, there was a question of, cops being a member of a union and that being me saying that's evidence of, and I don't know if the cops are in a union in the UK, but in the United States, most of them are. The union is what keeps cops on the payroll, even when they're being investigated for instances of police brutality, like the union. Honestly, I don't think the police should be able to have a union. Like, why is there an institution that makes it so that you get shuffled around to a different location instead of being discharged and permanently barred from being an officer of the law if you, like, tase someone to death in the middle of the street? Yeah, thank you, Gayfesh. Yeah, cop unions are not labor unions. They are criminal organizations enabling the very people who will crack skulls in the pursuit of strike breaking. Yes, this is the worst thing, like easily one of the worst things about the United States is the fact that there are cop unions. Any hoozle. Cheers, y'all. Okay, so we're done with Biden. Oh, let's just meme for a minute. This is not going to be a segment on the channel because I just don't care about this enough for it to be a segment on the channel, but it's funny. So if I'm reading this right, Judge Engoron has found that Donald Trump committed fraud and has ordered the cancellation of all his New York business certificates and has ordered the dissolution of the Trump organization itself. A cop union is a labor union in the same way that human resources is there to protect employees. True. So let's see. Excuse me, I'm burpy. Beer will do that to you. Beg pardon. Ordered that plaintiff's motion for sanctions is granted in part. There's a certain amount to be paid to the lawyer's fund. Ordered that the plaintiff's motion for partial summary judgment on its first cause of action is granted in part to the extent of finding defendants to be liable as a matter of law. It is further ordered that any certificates filed under and by virtue of GBL 130 by any of the entity defendants or by any other entity controlled or beneficially owned by Donald J. Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, Alan Weisselberg, and Jeffrey McConney are canceled. And it is further ordered that within 10 days of the date of this order, the parties are directed to recommend the names of no more than 3 potential independent receivers to manage the dissolution of the canceled LLCs, and ordered that the judge shall continue to serve as an independent monitor of the Trump organization until further court ordered. And it is further ordered that the clerk shall enter judgment accordingly. So, yeah, it does seem like he has been ordered to dissolve his LLCs and anything owned by his 2 sons, or I guess Eric Trump, wait. Yeah, Eric Trump is his actual son, or is that the one who married his daughter and then did he take the Trump name? I can't remember how any of this works. This family is so fucking inbred. There's a reason why unions are called trade unions specifically, because they represent workers of economy. Public schools and public health is part of the economy, but police obviously isn't. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Jared Kushner married Ivanka. Eric and Don Jr. are his sons. Thank you. I appreciate that you know things. You don't drink and you know things. Gayfesh, we gotta do a podcast episode or something sometime. I don't know what it is, but I think it would be fun. We should do that sometime. Anyway, I didn't really have a lot of commentary to add to the Donald Trump thing. That's why it was just like, LOL, we're gonna laugh at it for a second. Like that he's been frauded. He's done fraud. He's been proven to do fraud enough that a judge is like, yeah, you're not allowed to do business anymore. Or at least like you can't continue doing business under the current LLCs that you have. Yes, do it. Absolutely. Okay, let me get out of that. And then we'll read an article from Aaron Reed here in a minute. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to watch a video. We're going to watch a video. I'm so excited. Hit the like button if you're enjoying hanging out. Or if you're about to leave, do it before you leave, because it still helps the show. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. If anybody's feeling generous, you're always welcome to send me, like $5. Maybe get yourself a green name on the website. Or just my eternal thanks. That's also a thing that you could receive. Aaron Reed! True. Yeah. Large crowds of trans rights supporters. That's the story that we're gonna read. Oh, yawning needs to happen. I need to put this in my stream notes. Like me not updating my stream notes. Okay, our last stream was a goof. We just kind of goofed the last time. It was Slay the Dragon time. Today is Biden picket line. Trump business dissolution. Okay. Okay. I've got my notes all updated. Now I'm ready. I'm so ready. Yeah, here's another fun little electrician peek into an industry. Another reason why movie sets are quite dangerous places is because you're allowed to do all kinds of insane shit with regards to your lighting and your electrical stuff. Like, stuff is permitted on a film site that is just not permitted at any other time. And they have these, like, giant lights that are so hot. And, like, they got all these wires running everywhere. Like, everything is a temporary installation. And that's part of why you're allowed to do crazy nonsense. Is because when you're doing temporary installations, it's like, oh, well, obviously you can't ground this because there's no ground on the site at this new house that you're building. You haven't grounded the site yet, so you can't, you know, you have to use a different plugin or whatever. Like, yes, Corpse Candy, that is what we're going to be discussing in a second. So yeah, like, you don't ever really think about it, maybe, but, like, the fact that they require such intense lights, think about filming outside at night, you know, and, like, to make it bright enough that you need to, like, bright enough that you're able to film. It was a lighting scaffold that fell on my partner. He is a camera operator. I was a lighting engineer and only will do theater because these temporary sets scare the shit out of me. Yeah, exactly. In theater, everything is a permanent installation. There are requirements for theaters that are specific to theaters, and those are still more within the range of, like, rules that you would normally follow to make things as safe as they would be in your house, you know? But the things that you're allowed to do in temporary installations are just bonkers. True, yeah. You have to hire someone specifically to remind people not to trip over the cables, lest they trip and spill hot coffee on their faces and ruin their faces forever. Then they have to get a face transplant. Also, just the weird posture technicians need to stand in order to be out of shots in tight spaces can cause you to slip a disc in your spine. Yeah, the stuff that people are expected to do with their bodies in order to survive, like a job situation, like, just, like, I saw a movie about a face transplant. Was it called Face Off? Yeah, they took his face off. That sounds about right. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. We're almost at 69 likes. Ooh, I wonder if we can get to 69 likes. But in the meantime, we're going to ramp up into talking about this anti-trans Canada march. Canada. All people want to do is make these things look pretty to entertain the public, as though, sorry, like, that should not leave people yeah, you shouldn't be leaving people disabled for the sake of getting a good shot in your movie. That just doesn't seem reasonable. It just does not seem reasonable. But the expectation that people be reasonable when money is on the line is just, I guess that's unreasonable itself. That, you know, if I could make millions and billions of dollars, then I don't care that some key grip needed to have shoulder surgery and is not going to be able to work for the next year, you know? I used to be weirdly obsessed with the idea of getting insurance for your face as a kid. Okay, you'll have to explain that to me in a little bit, Phoebe G. Anyone who's just coming in, please remember to hit the like button. Okay, I love you. Thank you. And then now we're going to do the thing. Are you ready? We're going to do the thing now. Doing the thing now. That reminds me of when they were filming Serenity. Nathan Fillion had a shot where his face slams against the door, and after several takes, he got super swollen, and Joss Whedon hadn't realized he'd been doing it for real and not holding back, and was like, dude, it's just a fucking movie, don't break your face. Yeah, I wouldn't have had you do this several times if I thought that your face was gonna get all swollen. Famous people will get insurance on their body parts. Oh, weird. Okay. 69 likes. Amazing. I would get like 1 cent for face insurance. Lux ASMR Smuggy. You don't get any ASMR if you don't donate. That's all you get. Okay. I heard about this march right before it happened, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go down, and I didn't have time to do coverage at the time, so I will say it turned out okay now. Anti-trans Canadian march outnumbered by huge trans rights crowds and teachers' unions. There was this anti-trans group called 1 Million March for Children, which they had a bunch of protests planned in Canada. You know, we keep thinking, oh yeah, this is an American problem. The transphobia, no, it's a Canadian problem. They're not even 5 years behind. I keep saying, oh, Canada is 5 years behind in terms of them becoming fascist, but nope, they're just keeping pace with us in this case. So, apparently, thankfully though, they were largely drowned out by huge crowds of supporters for trans rights and unions. And they're always called 1 million whatever. Like 1 Million Moms is an organization in the US. And they have similar motives of like, oh, we're going to try to prevent these things from being taught in school. We're going to, you know, we're going to hurt this company by boycotting them because they put gay people in the advertisements. Hey, thank you so much. I think that's a first-time dono from Hembrier of Physics for a $10 dono. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And that's a lurker, too, because I haven't seen you talking at all. Look at us. We're 10% of the way there. 10%. Thank you so much. People should be reminded that anti-trans rhetoric is against everyone. A student was threatened with suspension recently in Texas due to, quote, having hair too long for a male. Yeah, I guess I hadn't really thought about that one in particular. I had assumed that it was going to be mostly cis women being policed for not being feminine enough. But yeah, I suppose boys with long hair are also going to be punished in the same way. But anyway, let's shift back over here. On Wednesday, huge crowds gathered after anti-trans organizers called for a, quote, million-man march against transgender rights. However, it wasn't the opponents of trans rights who predominantly showed up. Instead, crowds of supporters for transgender rights and teachers' unions backing them flooded streets in cities such as Toronto, Vancouver, and Ottawa. Some folks were saying in chat earlier that it was not overwhelmingly in most cities it was this way, but in some, you know, central conservative areas, it was the opposite, where the anti-trans people did in fact outnumber the pro-trans supporters. But, you know, thankfully in big cities, that was not the case. Pride flags were raised in front of city buildings, and even Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau lent his voice in support. This was envisioned as a day to spotlight the, quote, widespread opposition to LGBTQ+ youth, and it was instead blossoming into a remarkable display of backing and unity for trans individuals across Canada. So yeah, they started promoting this in August. They revealed that they were allied with the anti-trans group Gays Against Groomers. A probe by Press Progress exposed connections between 1 Million March for Children to far-right groups who were previously known for their involvement in other anti-LGBTQ protests and the Freedom Convoys. God, the Freedom Convoys just feel like so long ago. Maybe it's just because I didn't pay that much attention to them. Maybe it's just because I was like, oh my God, I don't care about this. It just feels like forever ago. based behavior by teachers unions, they are aware that they will also be targeted by bigots. Well, yeah, because part of what these people are asking for, so the reason that teachers unions got involved is because the group lists as its stated purpose, quote, advocating for the elimination of the sexual orientation and gender identity curriculum, pronouns, gender ideology, and mixed bathrooms in schools. They want to do all the same things that they're doing in America, where it's like, you can't call a kid by a different nickname because it could be a trans kid who's asking you to use a different nickname. You have to tell the parents first, and they're trying to crack down on the certain curriculum and like gender ideology and pronouns. Like, okay, so you're going to try to impact my ability to teach English. You're going to try to impact my ability to teach history. You're going to impact my ability to discuss modern society as it factually exists. Like, gender ideology is a thing that exists. You got to talk about it. You have to prepare children for the world, and like you have to tell them that trans people exist, and there are trans teachers. So, you know, like so many different ways in which this will impact teachers if this group gains any traction. You know, like, it's just not feasible to expect that the teachers themselves will not end up being penalized, as we've seen here in the US. Like, don't say gay bills pass, and then, yeah, you do have gay teachers losing their jobs. Wow, the Majority Report, Marcella says, showed a video today of the Million Hate March in Calgary, and a child of 5 years went on stage and said that gay people were disgusting and needed to be wiped out. That is crazy. Like, what? Like, imagine calling us groomers after instructing your baby, your 5-year-old baby, to go say that gay people are disgusting on stage. Like, that poor kid is going to have so many issues to work through when they get older. Like, man, something between 5 and 10 years old, really young, yeah. Gender ideology is only a thing that exists as a dog whistle for the existence of trans people. Of course, yeah. They say gender ideology, and they just mean, like, the fact that trans people can exist and that you can't condemn us for being trans. Like, that it's not appropriate for you to be bigoted toward us for being trans. That's what gender ideology is. Like, gender ideology is the idea that you have to, like, acknowledge and protect trans people. Like, you have to acknowledge our identities and not shit talk us on that specific thing. Like, people seem to get that, like, racism is bad for the most part, and, like, sexism is bad for the most part, but they don't think that being trans is a similarly intrinsic trait, so they don't think that it should be protected. And, like, the idea that it should be protected is to them, like, an ideological belief. Well, yeah, of course it's tied to sexism. I mean, transphobia, in a way, is always going to be tied to sexism, but it is distinct, you know? Like, trans men can tell you that they have experienced sexism and they have experienced transphobia, and they are distinct flavors of hatred. They are not the same thing. Like, being hit on in an inappropriate manner, sexism. Like, being groped as a female, that's sexism, sure. Being denied a raise because you're a female is sexism, sure. But, like, being denied gynecological care because you don't look feminine enough, and the doctor is like, well, if you were really a woman, you know, or sorry, if you were really a man, then why would you be having this problem with your uterus, huh? Sounds like maybe this is a lesson for you to learn, and they won't treat you. Like, that's distinct transandrophobia, really. That's distinct hatred toward trans men. Oh my god, true. Getting kids to ventriloquize this crap is pathetic. Look at me, I indoctrinated a 5-year-old. I am a master craftsman in the marketplace of ideas. I'm masterfully persuasive. I convinced a 5-year-old to believe in my ideology. I did not see the video called I Was a Victim of Gender Ideology. Do I need to do reactions to detransitioners' videos? Is that a thing that I should go back to doing? Because it's been a while. I mostly like tell the YouTube algorithm that I don't want to see videos from detrans folks because they suck. Like Salty, it recommended Salty to me again recently, a person whom I blocked on Twitter after having a conversation with her. Excuse me. Oh, Mersh says that racism and segregation is coming back amongst conservatives. I saw an article on Twitter where white racists wanted whites-only activities for their children. Wow, incredible. I hadn't seen that, but I'm not surprised. Like, that the racism itself is coming out more so than ever before. At least more so than ever before in my lifetime, to clarify. Like, for a while, racism was not okay, officially speaking. And then, like, lots of racism was still happening, of course. But now it's kind of making a resurgence as a thing that's okay for you to be in public. Like, it's okay for you to be racist in public again. Thank you, Baby Squid, for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. No comment, but I hope you appreciate your dicks. Enjoy. Enjoy your dicks. Oh my god, my mouse is dying. What's wrong with you? Okay. Okay, my mouse just decided that it was gonna freak out for a second. Everything's okay. We're fine. Look at us. Everything's good. It's the same here in Canada. My grandma used to be mildly racist, and now she's fully mask off. They know that they aren't good at persuading adults. That's why they indoctrinate kids. Bringing their kids out to say these horrible things about LGBT people is a product demonstration. Everyone knows that kids are taught bigotry, but they do not believe that you will be able to change your mind when you grow up. I guess that's fair enough. They're trying to say, yeah, this child parroting our beliefs is a product demonstration. It's what we want to occur after we allow the government to have us change the curriculum for them. But it's nice to see this. Look at this. We heart our trans kids, keep trans kids safe. Just like a big crowd showing out in support of trans people specifically, and lots of progress flags and stuff here in Vancouver. They're using transphobia to move into other subjects they don't like, such as public schools, public health, same-sex relations, race, etc. It's the shoe-in. Of course it's the shoe-in. They're saying, well, you've gone too far with all this wokeness, and it turns out that we weren't okay with the faggots or the black people or anything, or the women either. We actually are, like, you've been taking this wokeness too far. We need to take America back to what it used to be, when we would have, like, men coming home and beating their wives, and, like, children dying in mine shafts and stuff. Like, that was the good old days. You've taken things too far, so now we have to return. Like, oh, you know what? Black people need to be slaves again. The children yearn for the mines. Truly, they yearn for the mines. Let's see if there's anything else on here. Here's another one from Ottawa. Trans is not a choice, hate is. You are safe in my classroom. Trans joy is beautiful. Like a good crowd showing out in Ottawa in support. Video footage on the ground largely shows anti-trans protesters vastly outnumbered and overwhelmed. Trans rights equals human rights. In Toronto, counter-protest. With the spotlight now on trans individuals in Canada, several advocacy groups viewed today as a barometer for the potential success of anti-trans rhetoric in the nation. If today's events serve as any indicator, opponents of trans rights will face significant hurdles to enact discriminatory policies, particularly given the robust union backing given to trans students. Still, while many trans supporters are likely to depart today with a sense of triumph, there still remains a pressing need to continue defending their hard-earned rights in days to come. Absolutely. So, of course, like, it's lovely to see the turnout in support of trans rights, especially in support of trans children, like knowing that so many teachers are going to have the backs of the children that they are, you know, charged to protect and to teach. Like, you know, it bears noticing that things are potentially going to swing in a better direction in Canada if education becomes a central issue for them. Children naturally fear the enormity of the sky, much better off underground. And if they dislodge a few gemstones down there, who am I to stop them? Straight up, we're gonna straight up launch ourselves into the Hunger Games with like District 12 in the Appalachian Mountains with like people dying in mine explosions and collapses. It honestly makes me sick seeing what these bigots are having their kids do. I have no words for the anger I felt when I first saw that clip. Right, like it's so damaging to their own children, whether those children end up being trans or gay or not. Like, it's harming them. It's like, honestly, I would say a kind of abuse to them to like indoctrinate children into thinking that hating people is good and like engendering that sensation in them and giving them like a bunch of issues that they need to work through. And that's like assuming that they're not trans. Like, imagine though, being a trans child being taught those things. Getting Peta's nice buns. True. Squeezing them buns. But yeah, it's so sad how harmful that is to children. Like, it's so much easier to be accepting of them. Thank you, Corpse Candy. Yes, exactly. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Protect trans youth. Indeed, protect trans youth. They deserve it. They deserve protection, and they deserve guardianship that is seeking to meet their needs and not quell their spirits. Appalachia would be more like Northern Ireland. Every once in a while, explosions would happen in various places if such a dystopia were to occur. Yeah, I mean, I think that is... It's not like they happen very often, but at the beginning of the Hunger Games, we learn that Katniss is supporting her family because her dad died in a mine explosion, basically. Right, it's a recipe for creating bullies, too. That's the thing, is that you're creating a person... Like, that's the thing about why there should be a social intervention. You know, when we say this is abusive, ultimately what we're saying is that this practice is harmful to society in some way, right? So we can say it's harmful to the child. It's like psychologically damaging to cause them to feel hatred toward these groups of people. You're lying to them. You're giving them like a false sense of reality, an anti-science sense of reality, you know, and you're turning them into anti-social beings. You're like turning the children into like a disruptive force in society. So then you're going to go send these children to school, and your children, like if you are one of these anti-trans parents or anti-gay parents or whatever, you are creating children who you are then going to send to public school who are going to call the gay kids faggots before those gay kids even know that they're gay yet. Like, it actually is deeply disruptive to a cohesive society. And that's kind of what we're saying when we step in and we say this is abusive. It's like, it's not only that you're doing harm to this individual, but it's that you're like creating a problem for the rest of us to deal with. Like, this kid is like, you know, if your kid is malnourished, then part of the reason why we intervene is not just because like this kid needs assistance. It's also because as a society, we don't want a bunch of people who aren't like well enough to be contributing members of society. You know, there's always that like dual aspect of this. And that is one of the potential harms that we need to be aware of and look at, that like these abusive parents who are indoctrinating their kids into being bigoted towards other people are like basically using their children to continue to cause problems for gay and trans people. Yeah, worst case, they will end up doing exactly as their parents have done and repeat the cycle too. Teaching their kids that, like, best case scenario, they would spend the rest of their life undoing that damage, but that's hard work. In all likelihood, a lot of these kids are going to continue to be bigots and not going to do the introspective work, and then they're going to teach their kids to be bigots. And, like, this is the, you know, continuing to teach something, social behavior, that causes problems long term. People aren't naturally this way, but they are being taught to be this way. Yeah. I'm ready to go off of it, though, if you all are ready to go off of it. Because I have a video that I want to react to. And the video is like 30 minutes long, so it'll probably take us at least an hour to get through it, right? That's usually how this works. And this I don't plan to be a segment. I just thought it would be funny to react to it on the show. Delicious. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need my headphones for this part. Yep. Headphones for this part. A lot more people are raised by horrible people and break free than grow up under good parents and become bigots. That's why the bigots need control of the education system to preserve their ideology. Right, yeah, because obviously the strategy of outbreeding us isn't working right now. The idea that you can just keep reproducing and teaching your kids to be bigots and that will somehow counteract the societal trend toward greater amounts of acceptance, like, it's obviously a failing strategy. So in lieu of that, like, in lieu of that thing that's not really working, they're expanding their tactics by making sure to go after us more actively, I guess. Transmedia Watch is a UK organization looking out for anti-trans media. Is there something like that happening in the US? I haven't heard of any one particular... I mean, like, I know of individuals like Aaron Reed, and Aaron Reed is collating a lot of the legal news, but I don't know if there is necessarily an organization specifically looking out for anti-trans media. Although I have fairly recently had the devastating realization that, like, we do have our modern version of Der Stürmer. You know, is it the Times? It's not the Post. It's either New York Times or the New York Post that has been, like, consistently publishing a lot of this anti-trans garbage. Like that, like, when I'm Googling something unrelated, like this morning I was Googling, like, does it matter for weight loss if you eat breakfast or not? It's the New York Post. It's Murdoch owned. Yeah. And I was like scrolling and I saw something from Time Magazine and I was like, okay, I feel like I can trust Time Magazine. I think they've posted some pro-trans stuff in the last year. And like the fact that I was sitting there thinking about it, like, has this organization taken a stance against my existence? Like, is this organization one of the scary news articles that's like one of the news organizations that's party to my people's genocide right now? Like, hopefully not. But yeah, it's New York Post, just like Fox News. Fuck the New York Post, dude. God, they suck so bad. I hate them so much. I don't trust newspapers in general. Oh, no, I mean, yeah, you shouldn't. Thank God Rupert Murdoch has just retired. It's, now he just has more free time to schmooze. NYT has been horribly irresponsible clown shoes people. New York Post is actively horrible on purpose. Okay, so it's kind of both of them. We all have our well wishes for Rupert Murdoch, okay? We all wish him well on his journey into the underworld. Followed by every one of his children. I don't know anything about Rupert Murdoch's children, so I guess I couldn't say. Hey, if you're just coming in, hit the like button. Let's see if we can get it to 75 likes today. And then we're about to start doing a react to a video thing. Murdoch's son is replacing him, and he's even more fascistic. His retirement is not a victory by any stretch. Oh, well, that's good to know. Good to know, I guess. They're bad, amazingly enough. Yeah, shockingly, they're bad. I wish him into a well. I'll have to make that wish the next time I throw a penny in somewhere. I do think that it would be cool to have a fountain where I could throw pennies as, like, prayers to the goddess Tyche. That would be fun. I wish I could do that. But, alas, I don't have infinite monies. 60 concurrent viewers. Hell yeah, hit the like button. Let's do it. I think it's supposed to be 69 degrees tomorrow. Sexy. That's amazing. We love to hear it. So, yeah, now we're going to do a react to a thing. So, let's see how many likes we can get before the end of the video. Probably not going to get to 100 today, but who knows? New challenge mode?
Streamers are being so lazy, it might be illegal. That's right, professional live streamer XQC is facing accusations of stealing content for his own reaction videos while making a complete mockery of other people's intellectual.
So I thought that it would be funny to react to this video about react streamers who are stealing content. Yeah, the reaction meta. That was what I thought would be fun to end our stream with today. The good thing is that there are several podcasts talking about and exposing the Murdoch family exploits. Yeah, we're Hassan streaming. Legal, my beloved. I was watching this before stream, and I was like, this would be great to show on stream, which is very funny. So let's do it.
Property rights. Oh, hold on. This part's great. Man, I love this guy. Welcome back, Legal Eaglets. Today it's time to think like a lawyer because we're going to be covering one of the most misunderstood aspects of copyright law, fair use. So hold on because it depends. But for those not in the know,
I don't think he was actually sitting there for a lot of that part. I think that he just took a still. It didn't look like he was moving at all. I think he was just sitting.
Fair use. So
I think it was just a still from the camera.
Because it depends. But for those not in the know, XQC is one of the most popular and highest paid internet personalities. Over the past decade, the 27-year-old French-Canadian has cultivated a dedicated following for his unique style of unfiltered
I had
commentary.
no idea who this person was before this also. Like, I had no idea who XQC was, and he is an embarrassing human being.
For video game live streams and YouTube videos. Now, XQC's most recent controversy kicked off when he uploaded
the deep content mines that guy has fallen into. Legal has dad charm and a very kissable face. I mean, I can't argue with you, I guess. His beard is always at a length that looks like it would be scratchy. Like, so I cannot really say that he has a very kissable face because IMO, like, wait, let's make sure that this is at the highest possible quality. Oh, let's make it 4K. Okay, I don't actually know if it'll show up any further, but like it just looks like very scratchy. It's just always at a length that looks like it's gonna poke you directly in the face. Oh, okay, well, if you like scratchy beards, I guess, you know, I can't say anything about that. Legal is daddy for sure. He's just too much of a twink. Like, for as much as someone with a beard can be a twink, he's just not a daddy. I just disagree with you guys on principle. He's too clean for me. I wonder, I've never seen him outside the suit, you know? I wonder what he looks like as an actual human being outside of the channel.
Video to his YouTube channel showing himself reacting to another creator's video on the JFK assassination.
About to return to ground level, given spotted Oswald approaching.
But while reaction videos typically involve lots of pausing and constructive
I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need you to fuck him. I want to fuck him. I guess that's fair. You don't need to invite me to the orgy, all right? I don't need to be part of this.
Commentary on selected clips. XQC's video is almost exclusively just him watching the entirety of another person's 90-minute video. This triggered an influx of backlash from other YouTubers who accused XQC of free riding off of another.
While good React videos have lots of pausing, he says, as you pause. It's true. Listen, I don't have any problems with not pausing enough in my content. I pause plenty, all right?
It is hard work, all while reaping financial rewards via clicks and ad revenue.
XQC is saying next to nothing. Again, it's just like, wow, this video is popular, so I'm gonna
So people have been criticizing him for this the same way people have been criticizing Hassan for this.
sit in the corner, my audience will do basically whatever I say, and I'll say it next to nothing and make free money.
And to make matters worse,
Free
sometimes
money
he
is
even
so
keeps the
good,
video
though.
playing while he leaves to use the bathroom or make lunch.
Allowed various work.
Do not post this to YouTube for the lack of react. Boom!
And of course, XQC is not the only streamer who reacts to other people's videos in real time with almost no commentary. It's all over the place.
Oh yeah, fair, true. I don't understand this at all. I can't contain myself. Like, I do not get it when people just sit there staring at something, not talking over it. Like, I literally cannot contain myself. I have to talk over it and pause and make my little comments. Asmongold, oh, are we doing... Jax Films has been criticizing the meta too. The Timothy Chalamet. If people just silently reacting to Dragon Ball episodes.
XQC claims he's done nothing wrong and accused his critics of being envious of his success. Now, as a YouTuber who has produced my own share of reaction videos and had their videos reacted to by others, this is an issue that is near and dear to my heart, and more importantly, my wallet. And the transformative nature of fair use is one of the most misunderstood areas of the law on the internet. So today, let's take a deep dive into one of the most heated debates on online content creation and fair use that's happening right now.
Yeah, because technically speaking, like, as a streamer, you know, I'm playing, like, chunks of the video that I'm not necessarily responding to. So in that way, it isn't exactly fair use because, like, I guess technically speaking, I should go through, like if I were to post it to the channel, I should edit out the parts that I'm not responding directly to. But I kind of don't like doing that because it means that you're not getting, like, the build up to the point that they were making. And also then that way people can't accuse you of being dishonest about clipping out the context of what they were saying. But yeah. Hassan either goes quiet or goes into a stun lock that doubles/triples the OG video length. There is no in between. Fair enough. I don't watch Hassan, but I appreciate it. I could talk about XQC, or I could just recommend the Roe Ramden video. No worries. I hate to think of what the future will be like. Videos of reactions of reactions of reactions. Where does it end? Do you guys want to do, as like a Christmas special on my show, we could do like a reaction to Demon Mama reacting to the Doe debate and reacting to like her and like reacting to the Vosh conversation with Riley after. We could do an entire 12-hour stream of this, the debate, if you will. I know it was 2 years ago at this point, but it's like, it's a Christmas classic, you know? You just gotta, every once in a while, you gotta revisit it. But I don't think I've ever reacted to it on stream before. Did we watch the Doe debate on stream? I don't think we ever did. I just listened to it frequently in my personal time. But that could be fun. The Doe situation was how I discovered Demon Mama. Yeah, I can't remember what exactly it was that I started watching a lot of Demon Mama after that. I think that I had seen her before and I knew who she was, but I started like being a fan of hers after the Doe debate. Being mean to Doe is always a bad idea, truly. I watched the entirety of the pre-debate stream and the post-debate stream. Yeah, it was a fun little holiday zhuzh. And Demon Mama liked my joke last year when I posted a screenshot, or maybe even I took just a picture of my monitor, like, just tucking in for a nice Christmas movie. And it was the, like, Vosh part. I think the post-debate stream was like 9 hours. Yeah, I had it on my YouTube downloads list, and I would just listen to it, like, all day. I know, her streams are so long. Anyhoozle, let's continue with this thing.
Now, Felix Lengyel, better known as XQC, has
Why
spent
are all the worst YouTubers named Felix? I'm sorry.
nearly a decade building a devoted online following as a former top-ranked competitive Overwatch player turned streamer and content creator. And on the live streaming platform Twitch and now Kick, XQC regularly chats with fans, hosts reality shows, and broadcasts himself playing video games. And on his YouTube channel, XQC makes general videos on a variety of topics.
Is that what you want? Is that what you want, internet? Is that what I have to do to gain your respect?
Including videos of himself reacting to other creators' content, and often re-uploading his live streams. Now, XQC is no stranger to controversy, and if anything, he revels in it. He's been historically suspended from Twitch for various reasons, ranging from a copyright strike for live streaming the Tokyo Olympics, to an incident where he uploaded a brief clip of two gorillas mating.
XQC receives 24-hour Twitch ban for showing clip of gorillas having sex. Oh no.
Which he claims was by accident. And XQC has also blurted out homophobic, sexist, or otherwise bizarre comments during live streams.
Who hasn't?
But ironically, the famously outspoken XQC now finds himself under fire for the things he doesn't say during his reaction videos. Now, most recently, XQC kicked the hornet's nest on July 24th, 2023, when he posted a video onto his YouTube channel titled The Kennedy Assassination, XQC Reacts to Lemino. But XQC's video is not so much a reaction video as it is mostly just him watching an entire 90-minute JFK documentary in silence.
Yeah, who would do
that?
A
number of YouTubers accused XQC of stealing the content of a fellow creator while providing almost zero commentary that would make the video his own. First, it was Bub Films taking XQC to task, then some ordinary gamers joined the fray.
463K views. I know. What do I have to do to start getting enough views that I don't have to worry about making money anymore? Like, how do I get to a place where, do I just have to be like relentlessly annoying like this dude and get a bunch of literal actual children watching my content? I get the feeling that XQC viewers are largely people who are just wanting to tune into a live car wreck. I just need to be cringe then. That's what I need to do. Ooh, we're so close to 75. Somebody press the button. Somebody make it 75 likes.
The video is garbage. And this isn't the first time that XQC's non-reactive reaction videos have actually stirred controversy. Neo,
don't become XQC.
A YouTuber who creates educational videos, who you can also find on Nebula, criticized XQC for leaving the room 5 seconds into reacting to Neo's video and only coming back 10 minutes later, which Neo described as XQC, quote, making a mockery out of the fact that he is not reacting.
Yeah, see, this bothers me. Like, I don't really think you should let a video play while you're just gone for, like, several minutes. Like, that's part of why I set up bug cam, you know? Like, part of the reason why we have bug cam is, like, if I needed to step away for, like, several minutes, I could just be like, okay, I'll give you to the bugs, bye. And then you could vibe with the bugs, you know? But for now, like, I made a point to do that. Star in a porn film with Vosh and Demon Mama. That there's so many assumptions in that, Andy's Mints. The assumption that all three of us are at all interested in having sex with each other. Like the assumption that I want to have sex with either Vosh or Demon Mama, that they want to have sex with each other or with me, that we all want to do it together, that we would all be able to be in the same place at the same time to arrange this, that we would all be interested in making it into a film. So many assumptions in there. Would this even, yeah, on camera. And like having, and like doing a porn film is not like having enjoyable sex. In fact, it's not enjoyable sex as far as I understand it. So many assumptions being made there. Oh God, anyway. So yeah, like XQC will leave the room 5 minutes into a video and then return 10 minutes later. Just get a fucking aquarium and put a camera on the aquarium and then like switch your stream to the aquarium mode when you step away. Look at it, it's so easy. Look at it. All the different scenes. It's so simple. Plus, you and Demon Mama would have to dress up in one of those two-person horse costumes. Exactly. You just don't think of the logistics here, okay? And, like, I guess Demon Mama, like, she's more sturdy than I am, so I guess she would be the bottom part. And then I would be the top part. Which means that each of us only has one whole option for the encounter. Listen, I'm so sorry to both Vosh and Demon Mama for entertaining this discussion. It's only because it would never happen that I'm thinking that it's funny. It's very unprofessional. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Thonkers and Smuggy Chat. Amazing. Anyway.
He also provided a graph showing that there was no viewership boost for Neo during and after XQC's broadcast.
Yeah.
On the streaming site Kick, which XQC recently made a...
Yeah, because, yeah, the thing is that you're not usually sending viewership over there. Which, like, I could be like, hey, go hit the like button. You should go hit the like button. I don't know, Vosh and Jimmy Snow by extension seem like they'd be game. Why is Jimmy Snow by extension of Vosh? I don't understand. Oh no.
$100 million deal to join, one of XQC's first streams went south after a member of Kick staff had to jump into the chat to stop him from streaming the entirety of The Dark Knight. He then found himself temporarily hidden from Kick's directory, aka shadow banned, for a second copyright violation for streaming Breaking Bad. Now, addressing the backlash to the Kennedy video, XQC asserted in a live stream that he paused like crazy and added a lot of commentary to very generous statements.
Bro, I paused like crazy, added a lot of commentary. Chat, the reason why I didn't commentate is that streams are content. Streams, in their entirety, are content.
He then claimed he only...
People love to rewatch streams, though.
...rushed through because his chat was, quote, getting mad. And after going on one of his trademark rants, he added, quote,
yes, a lot of it is just watching it. Because that's what chat wants. If I commentate too much, chat gets bored.
Now, we'll talk about legal defenses.
Dude, is he in Fight Club? Look, what is with this, like, dark patch on his face here?
In the future, but this is just classic.
Is he a member of Fight Club? Lux, tell Jimmy to tell Arden that a random trans OF gal 2 hours away from her wants to collab. Yeah, sure, I'll definitely do that. You could just tell me to DM Arden, because I can DM Arden. I have her in my DMs. Oh, God. Streams are shit content if you have a trash personality. That's a true fact.
Chat.
Oh, he said Vosh and Jimmy Snow by extension seem like they'd be game, because he's got Vosh's preferences only hornier. I mean, I guess that's fair. I just was not expecting the Jimmy Snow mention. It's like, you know that me and Jimmy Snow are friends, right? Like, we're friends. Oh, God.
Got bored, so it's okay to commit copyright infringement. I'm sure he's fine here.
Chat got
bored, but on Twitter,
so
XQC hit back
okay.
at some ordinary gamers, writing, quote, I'm watching a vid I like to my people, that's it. Whatever that means. Now, XQC reacted to Neo's response.
I think Jimmy Snow also mentioned he thinks AFAB NBs are the most attractive. That's cool. Like, that's cool. Yeah, I guess. So what you're saying, Brutus, is that we need to have some kind of orgy of Vosh and Jimmy Snow and Demon Mama and me. That's the ideal streamer polycule. I'm trash, but like fun trash. After a birthday party when you stuffed cake, covered paper plates and streamers into the garbage. True. Leftist orgy? I guess so.
With this incomprehensible video.
Chat, did this get re-uploaded? Chat, is this video re-uploaded or not? Wait, it didn't. Wait, it didn't. So what's the problem? So, what's the problem then? People say that it's when you upload it to the same platform, and that's the problem.
Yeah, so what I think he's trying to say, and don't quote me on this, is that he told his editor or his social media guy not to republish his live stream to YouTube, thinking that
He was saying, like, yeah, if I restream a YouTube video on Twitch instead of YouTube, then it's okay. That's what he was saying. Kami's having an allergy. Yeah.
somehow absolved him of copyright infringement. That's not the case. Now, what this gibbering mouther fails to understand is that it's copyright infringement whether it takes place during a live stream or during a video on demand or a re-upload. It doesn't matter whether it's live or not. It's still copyright infringement. It just might be harder to actually find if there's no actual recorded video of it, if it was a live stream that just went off into the ether. And actually, when XQC was called out...
Gibbering mouther, yeah, the shade.
During the live stream of reacting to Neo's video for the lack of commentary, XQC just gets angry and makes some stuff up, talking about some nonsense reaction about the metal of the pillars and stuff.
Metal pipes, cement, football, goal at the back. Wait a minute, chat, hold up. I think this is a very rare copper alloy right there, chat.
But it highlights the lack of actual commentary. You can't just
He's sarcastically being like, "Oh, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to commentate over this? Ooh, let me talk about the concrete and the metal pipes that I see in the shot." Like, as though that makes it into like a good fair use reaction, like as opposed to talking about the content of the video. Ooh, 79 likes. We got so many likes. Oh, Gibbering Mouther is a D&D monster. Okay, good to know. So either he plays D&D or his writer does. Always an option. Always an option.
Describe what you're seeing and call it commentary. That's not going to qualify. And it highlights the lack of anything of value that's being added in the...
Scratchy beard. Boring tie. Lots of encyclopedias to try to make you look smart, but you definitely don't ever crack those open.
Lack of transformativeness of these reactions. But XQC described some ordinary
Actually, I think
gamers...
it's a green screen.
...take as, quote, unfounded criticism full of personal attacks, and ask some ordinary gamers why this triggers him so much. Now, speaking as a lawyer and YouTuber, the reason this triggers some people, especially content creators, is that XQC seems to be basically stealing other people's hard work under the guise of creating a reaction video.
True.
Which we'll talk about whether it's a reaction or not. But besides the legality of it, there are a wide variety of attitudes toward reaction content in the streaming community itself.
XQC was just demonstrating he has literally no ideas on how to be a good React streamer by sarcastically pretending there's nothing to be added. Exactly. He's like just demonstrating that he doesn't have any meaningful ideas to contribute to any discussion. He's literally just sitting there staring and like raking in a bunch of money by sitting there staring.
Ethan Klein, YouTuber and co-host of the
Ethan
H3
Klein,
podcast,
my boy,
has emerged as a prominent voice on fair use and one of the fiercest critics of non-reactive content creators. And on the August 7th episode of the H3 podcast, Klein and XQC debated what counts as fair use with respect to hosting content.
This is good
XQC
stuff.
accused Klein of doing the same thing by...
I love watching Ethan Klein interviews where he holds people to task. It really gets me hard. It's like weaponized incompetence, like when you ask the boyfriend to do the dishes and he goes and just does a bad job on purpose so that you won't ask him to do it again. True.
Featuring smaller creators' content on his platform.
You keep saying that.
You're doing it.
Not proven.
You're doing it. You call me a thief piece of when you're doing it.
You haven't proven that. I don't know why you keep saying that.
However, a key difference is that H3 rarely plays a video in its entirety, and XQC asserted that his live reactions give exposure to smaller creators, which set up a furious response from Klein.
Nice try. You literally do it to enrich yourself. You're a multimillionaire, and you steal content from small creators, and you don't give a f about their rights or what they want. You're not creating anything big for anyone. You're just taking attention and views for yourself, and you don't give a f about the consequences of that. It's not your decision to make that for other people's property.
I love Ethan
the
so
debate
much.
devolved into finger pointing and insults with Klein cutting off the stream, but not before XQC asserted people would rather watch him
Ethan
do the
cut off
worm
the
than
stream?
watch Klein's podcast, and he then did
XQC
so.
clearly doesn't know what the worm is. This note in the corner here. How is that showing? Oh, it's kind of a little bit off screen, but like, yeah, clearly he doesn't know what the worm is. These do cut off the corners a little bit. That's okay. Not too worried about it.
Okay, sure. I mean, that's content, man. It's original
That's
content at least.
right?
Yes, do that, bro.
Excuse me.
That's sick, bro.
And in the wake of all of this controversy, YouTuber Meat
I gotta
King-
watch that whole thing. Clearly, I missed the good parts. Yeah, that might be worth watching just for funsies. Ethan is not someone you would want to debate unless you're really skilled. Yeah, Ethan shows up prepared, and he has a team of people who are prepared to send him relevant links when people make points that can be obviously debunked by a quick reference. Like, we watched on stream him reacting, or him taking Ollie London to task, and God, that was so good. Yes, the teamwork is just, they're so quick. They're so quick on the draw.
Opinion created a parody of XQC in a video he called The Tragedy of a Reaction Streamer, in which XQC is portrayed as a Smaug-like monster.
Or he pulls
hoarding
out a
views, though,
Pokeball and says, Sam Cedar, I choose you.
Ironically, the XQC golem in this video seems to be actually more coherent than the real thing.
Very fun. I liked it a lot. Make sure to leave a like, a click on the bell, and the thing. And oh shit, I'm doing the pose.
And then things got meta when XQC reacted to the video by barely reacting.
The views check maybe I could find it.
And then things got really meta when Meat Canyon reacted to XQC's reaction by barely reacting.
And now I'm sitting here
Though
not
ironically,
reacting.
Meat Canyon's reaction is probably the one that's most likely to qualify as fair use, because under some circumstances, parody can be fair use. And if I was his lawyer,
true.
I'd argue the parody only works if he reacts to the whole thing without reacting.
That's very funny.
Copyright can be really weird sometimes.
I
Of course,
appreciate
copyright
that. I appreciate that he just kind of decided to pitch that in real quick. That, like, yeah, this could be considered a parody, his reaction. Like, oh man, does that mean that I can do that? I can parody XQC by reacting to his content without reaction at all? That sounds incredible.
Can be hard. It's why you need a good lawyer. But if you want a great lawyer, my firm, the Eagle Team, can help. If you or a loved one has suffered from cancer, suffered an injury or death in the family, or were involved in a car crash, we can represent you or help find you the right attorney who can. Just click on the link in the description for a free consultation with my team. Because you don't just need a legal team.
Yeah, the word description is
you
hard
need
to
the
say
Eagle
sometimes.
Team. So link below. Now back to thieving streamers. And this is a perfect opportunity to talk about one of my very favorite cases that actually involves Ethan Klein. Now, originally, Ethan Klein found fame through his YouTube channel, H3H3 Productions, which was hosted by
in a
himself
lawsuit for
and
such
his
a long
wife, Hila.
time.
Now, their content included sketch comedy and reaction videos that satirize internet culture, and it was one of their biting reaction videos that landed them in federal court. Because in February of 2016, Ethan and Hila posted a video mercilessly mocking the video of another fellow YouTuber, Matt Hosenseida. In which his character, the big, bold guy, attempts to seduce a love interest using the power of parkour.
Strong shoulders.
He wrote that in, by the way.
I don't recommend that you watch this video. It is the most cringeworthy thing you have ever seen in your entire life. And for some reason, it still exists on YouTube. But Klein's 14-minute reaction video included numerous clips of the big, bold guy's supremely cringe video, interspersed with their own commentary and jokes. And frankly, they played almost the entire video itself while they were commentating on it.
I feel so objectified.
You can have me.
Holy f***.
Of course.
And it's just that easy, baby.
And in response, Hosenseida, known online as Matt Haas, sued the pair in federal court for copyright infringement and DMCA violations. And in the original complaint, Haas accused the Kleins of reproducing virtually all of the work as, quote, nothing more than a prop in their comedy routine. And after the Kleins posted a video discussing
But that's what fair use is. When you use the material as part of your thing, but your thing is adding to it or substantively changing it. Like, that's the whole fucking thing.
Suit, Haas added a defamation claim as well. But Judge Catherine Forrest of the Southern District of New York rejected all of Haas's claims, ruling that the Klein's video constituted quintessential criticism and comment that clearly fell within the bounds of fair use. In her analysis, Judge Forrest highlighted that the heart of the fair use inquiry is the extent to which the purpose and character of the use is transformative by adding something new with further purpose or different character. Noting that commentary and criticism have a strong presumption in favor of fair use, she cites various jokes and comments the Kleins made about the video, like calling Haas the king of CringeTube, criticizing what they found to be unrealistic dialogue.
Does that mean that cringy-ass video got played in court? I suppose it must have.
Between Haas and the parkour actress, and mocking the plaintiff's parkour ability. And Judge Forrest also analyzed to what extent the Klein's video usurped the demand for Haas's work by serving as a market.
Yeah, because the fundamental thing about fair use is that it has to be substantively different so that it doesn't usurp demand for the original copyrighted work. Like, you know, if CGP Grey makes a video about traffic that has a lot of very clear graphics, and there's an article that references his video but makes a bunch of GIFs out of his video such that you can read the article and get all of the info about how traffic jams work without having to click through to the video, like that is usurping the market and usurping the demand for the copyrighted work. And this concept of a market substitute. Anyone seeking to enjoy Bold Guy v Parkour Girl on its own will have a very different experience watching the Klein video, which responds to and transforms the Haas video from a skit into fodder for caustic moment-by-moment commentary and mockery.
Substitute. And citing the Supreme Court's ruling in Campbell versus Acuff Rose, aka the Two Live Crew case, Judge Forrest noted that lethal parody may indeed hurt demand for the original work, and the injury may even be intentional, but that does not produce a harm cognizable under the Copyright Act.
Okay, that's kind of interesting. Yeah. A lethal parody, like a really solid, damning parody, like a scathing theater review, can kill demand for the original, in the sense that people are like, oh, well, I don't want to see that thing now, maybe. Or that it reveals something about the original creator, but does not produce a harm cognizable under the Copyright Act. You could seek damages elsewise if you were just like, this harmed my sales or something, maybe. But that's different from a Copyright Act. Like, you could go for civil damages, maybe.
And accordingly, Judge Forrest found that the Klein's video, replete with criticism and mockery, is, quote, decidedly not a market substitute for the Haas video, holding that the Klein's video constituted fair use. Judge Forrest then dismissed the claims of copyright infringement and the DMCA violation, and she also tossed the defamation action, deeming the offending statements non-actionable opinions. And Ethan Klein rightfully declared this ruling a huge victory for fair use on YouTube. But in a footnote, Judge Forrest also cautioned, quote, the court is not ruling here that all reaction videos constitute fair use. She then provided helpful guidance for why the Klein's video was fair use, but other reaction videos might not be. Quote, some reaction videos, like the Klein video, intersperse short segments of another's work with criticism and commentary, while others are more akin to a group viewing session without commentary. Now, even though this case is...
And that's I cannot deal with the group, let's just watch this as a group. Like, if I wanted to do that, I would do it in our Discord server. If we wanted to just have a watch party, which we have talked about doing before, we could watch a bunch of dragon movies in the Discord server. I just wouldn't want to be on voice chat necessarily. Because I use my voice so much. And I'm so looking forward to, having less stuff going on. It's going to happen soon. Soon I will have less shit going on.
70 years old now. It's a great rundown of the fair use factors, especially in the context of an actual YouTube case, which is why I cite this case in every single one of my video descriptions. And if Lemino or Mia...
he cites the Klein decision in every one of his YouTube videos to indicate that, here is a ruling that gives you the guidelines as to whether this is fair use or not.
Or others decide to sue XQC for copyright infringement, I can pretty much guarantee that they'll quote from this decision to argue that XQC's videos are a group viewing session without commentary, not entitled to any fair use defense. So let's run through this analysis for what XQC is doing and figure out whether he has a fair use defense or whether it's copyright infringement. Now, fair use is a legal doctrine that allows unlicensed use of copyrighted material in certain circumstances. As an affirmative defense to infringement, fair use seeks to balance the property interests of copyright holders with the public interest of encouraging freedom of expression and the...
Has anybody gotten hit with an ad so far in stream? It hasn't given me the notification that I've noticed that it's putting up an ad. It's supposed to do a similar thing to what Twitch does now, where it just occasionally throws up an ad. Okay, I didn't think that it was doing it, but that's not an issue. I was just sitting here thinking, even if you were sitting here reacting to something without commentary, oh my god, Spirit76, I am about to just dump so much information on you. I also have premium, so I can't get ads anyway. Yeah, fair enough. I got a Nike ad? Okay, cool. Because, yeah, it's supposed to just kind of do it automatically. So I was sitting there wondering, if you were a streamer who's just sitting there not reacting to the content, I was like, how are you making money? Like today, like if I didn't get any donations during this part of stream, then it's like, am I technically making money off of it? Like, well, yeah, I guess there's ads showing sometimes. So even just passive viewers are contributing financially. And like, I'm still growing my channel, and then that's like a benefit to me. But yeah, so there's a British YouTuber called Rationality Rules. He mostly debunks other people's views and opinions, like Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro, for instance. Spirit76, I've known who Rationality Rules is for like 4 years, because 3 or 4 years ago, he started making a bunch of videos about trans women in sports. And it started this whole cascade of events where this trans YouTuber called Essence of Thought was reacting to him, calling him violently transphobic for being against trans women in sports. And then other people who were affiliated with him started catching fire. That's when Essence of Thought attacked Rachel Oates, and then Rachel Oates did like a suicide attempt or something, and like Essence of Thought called that white women tears, and like it was a whole thing. So Rationality Rules, just for your frame of reference, did walk back a little bit of his views, but basically is still saying trans women who've gone through male puberty shouldn't be in women's sports. That's what he walked back to after everyone was calling him transphobic for being against trans women in sports. He's like, yeah, but your male puberty is the thing that makes the difference. So sure, trans women who haven't gone through male puberty can participate. I only came across him recently by random. I haven't seen much of him at all. Yeah. As far as I know, to this day, because a while after this whole kerfuffle had ended, I saw him talking about it again, and he maintains the idea that that male puberty is like the thing that fundamentally makes the difference, which is not in line with the science. So like, as a guy who calls himself Rationality Rules and claims to care about all the science, like, but fails to recognize that the primary difference in sports performance between males and females is in funding and access to resources, and not some fundamental biological advantage conferred by testosterone-induced puberty. Like, such a fucking idiot. Anyway, I just wanted to burst your bubble about that, I guess. I just felt like bursting your bubble about that. Oh, God.
Wider distribution of creative works. And while fair use
EOT is a crybaby. Oh, yeah, I will fully come around and say EOT is abusive. EOT is on a power trip, and if you don't bow to her, she will try to destroy you.
Decided on a case-by-case basis, there are certain enumerated activities that are laid out in the Copyright Act as potentially qualifying for fair use, and that includes criticism, commentary, news reporting, and research. And that is not an exhaustive list. And in determining whether a particular use of a copyrighted work constitutes fair use, courts will consider the following 4 factors as codified in Section 107 of the Copyright Act. And no factor is determinative. You have to weigh every single one of them. The first factor is the purpose and character of the use, including whether the use is of a commercial nature or for a non-profit educational purpose. The second is the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. So for the first factor, courts examine how the party claiming fair use is using the copyrighted work. And while non-commercial and educational uses are more likely to be deemed fair, making money from the use of another's work doesn't automatically preclude a fair use finding. Instead, the key inquiry is to the extent the use is considered transformative. And the example that I often use is that Jurassic Park was originally a novel written by Michael Crichton. Then eventually it was turned into a movie, Jurassic Park, created by Steven Spielberg. Now, the movie is a derivative of the novel, and while it was transformative to turn the novel into a movie, you better believe that Steven Spielberg got permission and was able to license the IP to turn the novel into a movie. If Steven Spielberg had not gotten permission, that would have been copyright infringement. And that's why fair use can be tricky, because for it to qualify as fair use, it has to be transformative. It has to create something new, but it also has to be for the purpose and character of one of the fair use categories that the law recognizes as available to use for fair use,
like
whether
commentary
it's education
or something,
or whether it's comment.
Because like the Jurassic Park movie does, in a way, like supplant the market for the book. Because why would you read the book when you could watch the movie? You know, they are very different mediums, of course, but yeah, like. It is the exact idea and like close to it in terms of dialogue and stuff. So like it makes sense why, of course, you would seek permission.
Commentary, criticism, or parody, the purpose has to be there as well as it being transformative. Being transformative alone is not enough. And in fact, that can make it copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Now, whether something is transformative is a pretty complicated subject. I could make an entire video just on whether something is transformative. But here's what the Supreme
TBF,
Court
there
said.
are also novelizations of popular movies for some reason. Let's get some, let's get a novelization of season 8 of Game of Thrones.
In the Two Live Crew case. Quote, the central purpose of the purpose and character of use inquiry is to see whether the new work merely supersedes the objects of the original creation or instead adds something new with a further purpose or different character, altering the first with new expression, meaning, or message. And in that case, the Supreme Court held that the rap group Two Live Crew's commercial parody of Roy Orbison's song Oh Pretty Woman was non-infringing fair use.
Stop playing this. I don't want to hear it. Cease and desist. Thank you.
But also found that the more transformative of the new work, the less significant the other three factors are. And as a result, the first prong has historically been the most decisive in fair use determinations. And generally speaking, you're supposed to take the minimum amount necessary to create the transformative work that you're creating.
Yeah.
Now, parody
Which is why I say that it's problematic that as a streamer, you play several minutes of a video and then respond to one comment. Like hypothetically, if I were doing a video, a more video essay, like polished scripted style reaction, then it would be most beneficial to only react to, like to only show the clips that I'm directly responding to.
A little bit different. There, in an exception, you sort of need to take at least enough for people to get the joke. You have to be able to conjure up the thoughts of the original for the parody to work. But generally speaking, for fair use, you're supposed to take the absolute minimum necessary. Now, there's a little bit of gray area in terms of what is minimum and what's not, but still, generally speaking, you're not going to be able to take the entirety of a work and simply play it in the background. And this is the heart of the criticism against XQC, namely that his reaction videos are insufficiently transformative to constitute fair use. Now, the second factor is the nature of the copyrighted work, which analyzes the degree to which the work that was used relates to the copyright purpose of encouraging creative expression. In short, the use of copyrighted material from a work of fiction weighs in favor of finding infringement, while taking from a factual work, likely a news item, is more likely to be deemed fair use. But frankly, the courts don't put very much import for this particular factor unless the work has never been published before. But the third prong considers the quantity and quality of the copyrighted work that was used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. So in other words, fair use is less likely to be found when large portions of a copyrighted work are used,
of course,
or if you're taking the heart of the copyrighted work itself. So in other words, fair use is much less likely to be found when large portions of a copyrighted work are used, and you're much more likely to be able to mount a fair use defense when you only use small portions. But in some contexts, even taking a small amount of a copyrighted material can render a use unfair if the selection constitutes a substantial part of the work or the heart of the work itself. So for example, in a case called Harper and Row versus Nation Enterprises, the Supreme Court held that a news article's quotation of fewer than 400 words from President Gerald Ford's 200,000-word memoir constituted the heart of the work, and the use was ultimately found to be infringing. And the reason there is because the magazine published the part of Ford's memoir that related to pardoning Richard Nixon, which apparently was the only reason you would ever read Gerald Ford's memoir. So this would be...
I guess, that's so funny that the court ruled that the only reason why you would want to read this memoir is because of the Nixon part. So publishing the Nixon part, like, nerfs the audience for the book. That's too funny. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh my gosh, can we get to 90 today? I don't know if we're gonna get to 90 likes. We only have like 6, 7, 8 minutes left in this video.
Another strike against XQC, because XQC and these other live streamers are just republishing the entirety of the other YouTube videos and then reacting to it. Now, as we saw in the Klein case, just because you republish virtually all of a video doesn't necessarily mean that you can't mount a fair use defense, but it makes it really, really hard. And the more that you cite, the more you're going to have to add commentary or some new transformative meaning to your secondary video. And then the fourth and final factor focuses on whether and to what extent the unlicensed use saps the demand for the protected work by serving as a market substitute. In other words, in assessing this factor, courts consider whether the use is hurting the current market for the original work, for example, by displacing sales of the original, or preventing people from watching the original video, and or whether the use could cause substantial harm if it were to become widespread. And I think this is yet another strike against XQC, because when you republish virtually the entire portion of another person's video, and then you're not commenting on it with new meaning and commentary, why would anyone then watch the original video? They've already seen the video on your live stream. Now, as someone who has made dozens of reaction videos for this channel, and as a lawyer who has a vested interest in not getting sued for copyright infringement, I have a lot of experience on how these reaction videos are supposed to work. Or at least that's how Gamerant feels about my channel. But to give another example, when I reacted to the movie, My Cousin Vinny, I didn't post the entire movie, and I didn't just show myself watching it, however fun that might have been. Instead, I took clips and punctuated them with my actual legal commentary. You see, the traditional way of making reaction videos is to actually react to the videos.
Full disclosure, you dickhead.
Hey, I just said that. Now, creators who stream for long periods of time assert that, of course, there will be dead air while they eat or go to the bathroom. But the problem with that argument is that by the nature of live streaming, you can't take the minimal amount necessary as required under the fair use factor. And instead, you're playing the whole thing in real time, and you're not making any discretionary choice as to what is actually republished. And yeah, biology might dictate that you might need to take a bathroom break, but that's not a defense to copyright infringement. That's a live streamer problem, not a content creator problem.
I have to agree with that.
Letting some video play while he's
leaving
gone.
to take a break will almost certainly violate copyright due to the lack of commentary, but arguably so does just watching it in real time if there's no commentary being made. And this highlights why it might actually be impossible for any live streamer to have a live stream reaction where they're just simply playing the entire video and reacting. Because there's been no forethought about what's the minimum necessary to make the point of the commentary or the point of the criticism.
This is what makes the live streaming
They're just
aspect
playing
of it
the entire
tricky.
thing and interjecting some little bits of commentary or criticism.
It's like a bean.
And courts don't look fondly when you use the entirety of the work. So yes, you could add some original commentary to your reaction, but if it completely displaces the market for the original, it's probably not fair use. And it's pretty obvious that once you see a video during a live stream, the way that most of these live streamers do it, you're not gonna go back and watch the whole video again. Let's be honest, this kind of reaction content is extremely low effort and easy to do. Why? Because you're just piggybacking on the work of the original person. And whether XQC is in the room or not, there's an argument to be made that his borderline incoherent babbling might not even qualify as the commentary or criticism necessary for fair use anyway. Honestly, I think my dog
he's just like making a bunch of noise. So it's like, is it commentary? It is transformative in the sense that it's like you're being obnoxious on top of content that people might want to watch without your obnoxious face being present. Do one commentary and one criticism. So my one commentary is that Devin has a beard, and my one criticism is that his beard looks like it would be scratchy. And that's all I have to say about that.
Offer about the same level of incisive commentary as XQC during most of his live streams. Yeah, if you want to feel bad, just remember that apparently this garbage is apparently worth $100 million to the streaming platform Kick.
Incredible.
But there are some live streamers who do things the right way. If you get permission or you get a license from the person who owns the rights to the videos, then by all means, it's great that you are getting that permission and then reacting to it. And if you want an example of people who do reaction content right that aren't lawyers on YouTube, there's the popular YouTuber Ludwig. Not only has he created his own video differentiating between a genuine reaction video and stolen content, he's also held in high regard among other content creators for his ethical streaming practices. In particular, he asks for permission. And when he reacts to a fantastic series like Jetlag, also available on Nebula, he continually suggests that people sign up for Nebula so they can watch Jetlag where it was originally published. So Ludwig is evidence that it's not impossible. And another example of someone who does reaction content the right way is Dr. Mike. He is only looking at little snippets, and then he is talking about how that snippet relates to
I personally think Dr. Mike is hotter than Devin, but I don't know. That's just me personally. XQC is one of those guys whose popularity makes me lose hope for humanity. I sincerely hope it's mostly kids and they grow out of it. True.
Chosen practice. Obviously medicine. Now, you don't have to be a lawyer or a doctor to do reaction content. You do need to make commentary.
I think if I were a bigger content creator, I would ask for permission. Like, I'm such a small content creator that, like, it just feels silly to be like, hey, is it okay if I stream this to 53 concurrent viewers? But if I was consistently getting like a few hundred, I might more, especially if it was a smaller content creator too. It just feels like there's a power differential where it's like, okay, yeah, obviously if you're a giant creator, taking the money away from a small creator by broadcasting their content to a huge number of people who are then never going to subscribe or check out the person's content, you know, I think that that's more of an issue than like me showing Devin's video where he has like several 100,000 subscribers. Oh, wow. No, he has 3 million subscribers now. Yeah, I'm not hurting Legal in any way.
About the thing you are reviewing, and you, generally speaking, can't use the entirety of the work. You should have some forethought about what you're going to use and what's not necessary. And ultimately, non-transformative re-uploading of videos hurts content creators, free rides off of their hard work, and likely infringes on their IP rights. If these videos are re-uploaded in their entirety, it should be left up to the original content creator to approve or reject it. And remember, there's a super easy way to get around this. Just ask permission from the original content creator. Though in defense of like
how am I gonna get a hold of you, Devin? How?
Streaming reaction videos, Hassan Abi said, quote, 90% of creators don't mind. They like it when we're watching their videos. I'm a content creator, and I love it when people react to my videos. But the thing is that even if 90% of those people would agree to it if you ask them, you still have to ask them or it's copyright infringement. And that, of course, leaves out at least 10%, it's probably more than 10% of content creators, do actually mind, and you are explicitly going against their wishes. So ultimately, the easiest way around this that's good for everyone is just ask for permission. But streamers need to realize that not only is it legally required to ask for permission in many, if not most of these circumstances, as well as it being the morally right thing to do, it's also in their pecuniary interest. Someday a lawyer is going to explain the concept of statutory damages to them, and they're not going to be happy about that. Until then, you can support creators directly by getting a membership to today's sponsor, Nebula.
True.
Neo and I are not only on Nebula, but we're both co-owners because Nebula is a streaming platform.
Support Nebula if you like Legal. I'm not gonna play the entirety of his video going over the Nebula stuff. But Nebula's good stuff. I still haven't bought it, but it has good stuff on there. Get to see the videos in their uncut form and all that jazz. Do a Nebula. He's aged since that pic. I know the salt is in his beard. It's more salt than pepper nowadays. Fun fact, XQC's viewers are called juicers. He's not even a workout guy. If he was like a workout guy, I would say that kind of makes sense. XQC saw PewDiePie and said, I can be more annoying than that. True. What if a creator's Dom did non-transformative react videos to their subs, react streams to their subs videos? We're getting on so many levels. We're getting meta on so many levels now. You had sex in an elevator. It was wrong on so many levels. You know how it goes. Are workout streams a thing? If I had a home gym, I totally would. I think they are. I know someone who talked to me a couple years ago, or maybe a year ago, about how he was doing workout streams. So, like, yeah, it is a thing where folks like set up a camera in their workout area and like do workouts, but I guess you would mostly not be looking at chat. I guess you would look at chat during your rest between reps or something. I'm surprised that you guys haven't been demanding this of me. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go cook dinner after stream, and you guys are like, cooking stream when? And I'm like, you know, someday maybe, but like a workout stream, yeah, I don't know, it's a different thing. There doesn't seem to be as much interest in seeing a workout happen. Because, you know, if we got to the stream goal, I would do a bunch of push-ups. And I would do them in a way that you could see them, and it's just so unfortunate. We can't get there. I would put the camera under the squat rack. Of course you would. I think that would be, you would have to put that on the OF. I don't think that could go on a normal streaming platform. I would watch the workout stream for thirst, but also take notes on form. Don't take notes from me on form. I'm sorry, but the thought of self-improvement disgusts me. Some people are really turned on by the emotion of disgust, I think. I don't actually know. I guess some people out there are like, this is disgusting. I want more. I'm not here to kink shame, okay? Not here to kink shame. Based on the fact that a large content creator could take viewership and income from small creators, do you think reaction videos should be more balanced to include promotion of the small creator's content, whether or not the creator giving the reaction likes or agrees with the small creator's content? Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of what balances it out. Like, okay, so I think if you're a large creator, if you're, like, okay, it's like what Ethan Klein does. Like, they do react to smaller creators' content sometimes, but they only show part of it. So it's like, we're giving you a sneak preview and we're reacting to this one portion, but if you want to see the whole thing, click through. And I guess also in order for it to be falling within the purview of fair use, it would have to be like not the part that is like the heart of it. Not like the one slam dunk paragraph at the end of the video, you know? So yeah, like I think like if a big creator is doing a reaction to a small creator, like it's definitely part of it that they should be getting some benefit from it, right? Because that's the problem, is that these big creators are already making a lot of money, and it doesn't matter what they're reacting to. Like with Vosh and like other big streamers, like it almost doesn't matter what they're reacting to. People are going to tune in anyway, right? So streaming platforms need a way to embed the video you're reacting to such that the video gets views while you're showing it on your stream. That would be ideal. It would be ideal if you could get a one-to-one ad revenue like piece of it based on how many minutes of your video are being played on someone else's stream. Like I could see that being a benefit. Like if I was reacting to something, I wouldn't hate it necessarily if the part where their video is playing was like monetized by the smaller creator that I'm following. Yeah, but the unfortunate thing I think is that would end up benefiting larger content creators more, since they have the ability to like throw their weight around a bit. But I've seen some streamers tell the audience to open the window in another tab and just play through it on mute while they do a react. That's a good way to try to make sure that the person is getting the views. Not just the views, but the watch time. Absolutely. I'm glad that I'm a smaller creator and I don't really have to worry about this yet. If I was reacting to a creator of a similar size to me, like if I was to react to something Milo Stewart posted or something along those lines, I might ask first, because first of all, I'm already in Milo's DMs, so like it wouldn't be hard to get a hold of them. But also like, yeah, it would feel different. I'm starting to think maybe I should become a hater. Have you guys ever considered becoming a hater? Like, I used to think, you know, that it would be important for my mental health to not watch, you know, like reaction videos to my content. So I never watched like hate content directed towards me, you know. And I also have never been like a person who's going to seek out Ariel Scarcella, except very rarely. I'm like, okay, like if she shows up on my timeline, I'll respond, but I forget that she exists, right? I've never really done like a lot of Blair White content or anything like that, but I'm considering becoming a hater and just like responding to, I'm a big hater and a big lover. Girl is extreme. True. But yeah, like what if I just started reacting to a bunch of horrible people's videos, or like when I was thinking of Essence of Thought when I initially said it, like Essence of Thought has posted content about me and mentioning me, and it's like I always kind of thought maybe I just didn't want to feed into that drama, but now I'm like, man, that could be fun. It's too bad. It's too bad that she has to be so silly. Oh my god, she is still going after like Rachel Oates. She just decided that I was like small cookie, I guess, and decided that it wasn't worth it to continue making content hating on me. Did she put me in a thumbnail at some point? She did make a video about Riley Grace Rochong, which is funny. Did she put me in the thumbnail at some point recently? Certainly not recently. We're getting to like a year ago in these videos. Yeah, look at it. Luxander champions Xanderhall's exploitation of trans trauma 2 years ago. 45-minute video about me. And I just, I never responded to that on stream. Because, yeah, I just used to think that responding to that content was bad. But I don't know. Maybe a hater relationship. Oh my god, Essence of Thought still has like 11K more subscribers than I do. Look at this. She still has She has 11,000 more subs than I do. I am crawling forward. The way she says Luxander. Revive the beef. Beef necromancy. Oh. Usually when I see you negatively in a video, it's so cherry-picked, it's ridiculous. Who else have you seen me... Who else have you seen react to me? Because that's funny. I guess I can technically check. Like, there's this new thing in the YouTube backend that'll tell you if your content is being reproduced by another channel. Like, here is where it is. Like, if you just want to see in the back end, like, I was re-uploading videos for my VODs channel, and so that's showing me, like, someone else has re-uploaded a large amount of your content. And someone in 2020, a channel called Malik McLean, did a reaction video to my I Quit Hormones and So Can You. They included 70% of my video in their thing. So yeah, that's just a fun little thing. So technically speaking, I could go through here. There's not very much in here though. I guess it only caught some of them. Oh, no. It just only was showing me part of the page. Okay, cool. So I could, like, I guess I should just go through and delete my Luxander VODs channel, TBH, because obviously the views over there are not doing too good because I don't post over there anymore. But, like, most of these... Oh, yeah, here. Someone responded to... Someone used 90% of my... Sorry, what? Yeah, it's 90% of their video was just my video re-uploaded, apparently. Contains condoms are illegal now. Okay, so it was like 70% of this person's video was just my content. And then... Yeah, so interesting. I can keep going through this, I guess. But it's like, I don't think that Essence of Thought wouldn't show up in here because Essence of Thought didn't respond to my video. She responded to something I was saying in a... something I was saying in a live stream chat, you know? The cow is back and it does not wish to be. We gotta bring back the beef. I'm trying to remember who all has reacted to you. Content made in your image, true. Apparently this person just completely... Victor Raha just completely re-uploaded my entire thing. 100% of their video was just something that okay, maybe I don't know, I'll deal with this later. I'll figure it out later. I used to watch EOT, but her bitterness just became too much for me. She seems like someone who's been hurt and only knows how to deal with it by hurting others. It's a sad energy and I don't want to deal with it. I was thinking about her again recently because she's like really invested in the power trip of it all. And it was something she said to me on Twitter that made me realize that. She was like, I was like, you are going after me publicly instead of contacting me privately to let me know that there even was a problem. And she was like, I will not come bowing and scraping to you asking for an apology. And I was like, that's not what I fucking said. Like, the fact that you just took it there means that, like, you're framing this as though, like, oh, I want you to come bowing and scraping to me as though it's a power trip on my part. But the fact that you're imagining it that way means that that's, like, the way that you're viewing the situation, you know? Like, that you would even think that it's about me trying to make you grovel for acknowledgement or something. Like, that's not what it was. I was just like, I didn't even know that you were upset with me for this. And so I was expected to just know that and to come to her privately and apologize. Like, she wanted me to grovel to her and apologize and beg for forgiveness. And I was like, you're trying to exert power over me. This is abusive behavior. And, like, that's what ultimately made me really think, like, you know, Xander Hall was speculating that perhaps Essence of Thought was using abusive tactics, and they were using abusive tactics. He was speculating that it was because she may have been abused as a child and that she was, without meaning to, she was perpetuating that. He was not saying, like, because, like, I don't know. He was saying, like, her behavior is abusive and it might be because of this reason. And, like, to me, it doesn't really matter why she is abusive, but she is abusive, you know? Oh, I should just search. I guess I should just go to YouTube and search Luxander reaction and see what shows up. That's very funny. Oh, but it's mostly my channel showing up. Not so much other people. Okay, like here. Oh, someone did respond to me. Someone, okay, look at this. So we have an essence. So first of all, I typed in Luxander reaction. We have a lot of Luxander doing a reaction videos up top here. And then here's Essence of Thoughts video. And then here's a video from someone called Casey Streams saying Luxander attacks Anna Kasparian for being a, quote, TERF. Response. Oh, is this? No, this is someone else. I don't know who this is. But interestingly, this didn't show up in my back end there. And yeah, we have a lot of Luxander videos. Here's a Samantha Lux video. Here's the Calvin Guerra video from so long ago that's still public. And then we start fading out into content that it just wants to react to me. That it just wants me to watch and react to. Casey, is that Casey Miller? No. I did think that was my first thought. I was like, Casey Streams, is that Casey Miller? And then no, the
motherfucker.
It's like, I don't know who this person is, but that's not Casey Miller. Casey Miller is bald. Oh, that was mean. Oh no. I think speculating on someone's childhood is trash and something you should not do, but identifying someone's abusive behavior as abusive is fine. Well, okay, so Taima, to be clear, Essence of Thought has openly spoken about being a victim of abuse as a child. So I guess I misspoke. It wasn't that Xander Hall was speculating that she may have been abused as a child. He was saying, well, she is being abusive now, and she has talked about having an abusive background, so maybe the abusive background is why she is abusive now. Like, which is a pointless speculation to make, but it was just, you know, that was the point that Xander Hall decided to make at the time. TBF, he made baldness his whole personality. True. Didn't Casey Miller vanish? Casey Miller ended up going on a different Twitter account, and I did see them posting a little bit more recently, but I would not be able to find the Twitter account. Yeah, the idea that hurt people, which is like, you know, I understand why, like, there is a criticism to be made about drawing the connection between someone's abusive past and their being abusive now, because it's just like the narrative that, like, people with mental health issues are the ones perpetuating violence against people. But, like, by and large, people who are mentally ill are victims of violence. So, you know, like, I do see why it's problematic. Because you're then saying, like, oh, people who are abuse victims, oh, you need to be skeptical of those people because maybe they'll turn around and be abusive, when in fact we are more likely to end up in abusive relationships later on. Yeah, and I'm not going to defend the speculation itself. Like, it is pointless to try to be like, why is this person abusive? Like, oh, is this something to do with your childhood? Like, that's weird psychoanalyzing or whatever. And I was in the chat encouraging Xander Hall to be more clear and like to work through this idea that he was having, you know? But because I was encouraging him to be more clear, that was being like, oh, that's interpreted as encouragement about the speculation itself, which honestly I don't think would be a problem. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Entirely out of context. But I don't know. It would just be fun at this point, like, to have a beef, I think. I'm like, because, you know, I feel like you all know me well enough that I'm not at risk of losing anything by getting into a drama with a similarly sized non-binary YouTuber, you know? The dragon drama rises. We can start a beef for content. Honestly, if I could do dumbass reaction content and get more views, then like, I'm still going to do the political content and I'm still going to talk about that stuff. But listen, there's got to be food on the table. Old Zan can get a bit carried away at times. Yeah, fair enough. I like to tune into a Xanderhall stream every once in a while. I like to pop in and say hi. We are beefing about how portals work, remember? Let me, spoiler alert, the portals work the way they work in the game. When does Ethel not take people out of context? I mean, she was like right on the principle of the thing with the whole rationality rules conversation, but she just was so out of pocket with calling him violently transphobic. What's up, Jade? Welcome back. Sometimes you gotta take an emergency nap. It do be like that. Pray for me. I have a colonoscopy tomorrow. I'm gonna pray for you. Enjoy the poop juice that you have to drink. I need to do more things to piss off chuddy fandoms with my channel. Every time I'm like, MCU should probably fire Jonathan Majors, or Zack Snyder fans suck, they all pour in with their views and their angy comments. Angy comments. Give them to me, please. Whatever you gotta do to grow the channel, you know? And I'll admit it, like, engaging in beefs with other YouTubers, I'm not doing that because I want to do it. I mean, kind of, but, like, ultimately, it's, like, mostly just because, you know, it's like back when, do you guys remember Tide Goes In, Tide Goes Out? When David Silverman, who has recently been accused, like, who has more recently than that been accused of sexually assaulting someone who I knew in the background, and, like, he got kicked off of the American Atheists presidency and the board and everything. He was on Bill O'Reilly's show back in the day, and they were talking about, like, the belief in God thing, and Bill O'Reilly was like, you can't explain how things work. Tide goes in, tide goes out. How does that work? And then that's where the meme came from of David Silverman going, like, I don't know if you know the meme. David Silverman meme. You know the meme. It's this one. You know this guy. That's David Silverman. And then, like, after they cut to commercial, apparently, like, according to David Silverman, he was speaking about it after the fact. He was like, oh yeah, Bill and I just shared this look after the cameras cut that was like, we just made some good television right there. It's like, yeah, because even then there was an awareness that David Silverman going on Bill O'Reilly's show was for the memes. It's for the lulz. That's ancient. That's from Rage Comics era. I know. I was born in it. I was there when the ancient laws were written. I have been here for so long. I remember, like, when this happened. Like, not just when the meme happened, but when I was deep in the atheist community when this shit went down. Holy shit, taking me back to my funny junk days. I know. David Silverman is such a transphobic POS, though. I mean, he's also, like, a rapist, so it's interesting how often those things go together. That kind of relates to the difference of opinions in the trans community as to whether transsexualism/transgenderism is a mental health disorder, which is also how the medical intervention model in trans care seems to view it, despite the political position that it's now apparently not a mental health condition. Yeah, no, that was Bill O'Reilly. So many memes have come and gone. I can't wait until I'm an old woman with dementia spouting off random memes in the nursing home. Nurse walks in and I'll be like, here comes dat boy. You'll be the embodiment of the, okay, grandma, like someone's walking their grandma and she's got the walker. The one that always comes to mind when I see that image is like the Netflix used to send DVDs. I've believed it to be a mental disorder, but I had no other way of seeing it as I had no community connection. Yeah, I mean, the idea that being trans is a mental disorder is something that cisgender people made up in order to explain us and, like, make themselves feel better about offering us medication. So, you know, it's a whole thing. I believe it is a neurological phenomenon, but just because something is happening in the brain doesn't make it like a DSM diagnosis, you know? Like, conspiracy theories are a thing that happen in your brain, but that's not something that we put in the DSM. I don't think. Or is it like, yeah, like, is it the same kind of thing where it's like, this is not a thing about your brain being fundamentally broken, but we could call it a phenomenon? My parents used to burn copies of the movies they rented from Netflix. True. I saw all the ancient dramas. You were there. It doesn't matter what it is. It's people's right to transition. Yeah, I know. But it's like, yeah, it's about are we trying to meet some arbitrary cisgender created standard in order to get access to this stuff, you know? Transphobia, on the other hand, borders on OCD sometimes. Some transphobes talk more about trans people than trans people themselves do. I could see how you could make the comparison to OCD, because OCD is like you're worried that something you do will cause some unrelated bad thing to happen. So it's like, if we allow trans people to wear their appropriate clothes in public, then our country will collapse and China will go to war with us and Russia will nuke our assholes. Like, it's unrelated concepts. It's because in order to get medical care, it has to be pathologized. I don't think that's actually true. I think that this is part of the problem of what it was that Abigail was saying in her video, is that, like, I don't think you actually have to get a pathology in order to access certain kinds of medical care. Like, what diagnosis do you receive in order to get a birth control prescription? Or, like, do they actually check your hormones if you are a man who says that you have a hard time getting erections and that you have a hard time building muscles and you wish your facial hair would grow in faster? Like, do they actually test your testosterone? Maybe a good doctor would, but I'm sure that there are doctors out there who would just say that you have low testosterone and then give you the drugs based on your reported desire for cosmetic changes. Here they do hormone checks before they give tea for cis men. Yeah, but like for cis women, like extra estrogen in your body can be harmful, but do you get a blood test before they'll give you estradiol? No. They just give you the birth control. You aren't diagnosed with something. You don't actually have to have a pathology in order to receive medication. Nobody makes cis women see a doctor before getting a boob job. That too. You can just elect to do some things. I have lift weights after midnight or you'll get into a car accident OCD. See, that's rough. There's different types of OCD. I have just right OCD. But it's like the thing is that you have compulsive thoughts and then you have compulsive behaviors. So it's like, yeah, the idea that like something bad will happen or I can't stop thinking about this until it's fixed. Yeah, if you want it covered by healthcare in a for-profit healthcare system, people require reasons. No. You can get you can get birth control without a diagnosis and it will be covered by your healthcare. Like I'm saying, in the system we already have. It's like when people bitch about how like taking funding away from cops is going to ruin everything. And it's like, do you know what kind of neighborhoods have fairly low funding for cops compared to like other things in the community? Suburbs. You already have evidence that putting funding into community resources is effective and an alternative to increased policing, you know? But you can get birth control and have it covered by your insurance. Like, I guess you're being diagnosed with like hysteria. Like you're being diagnosed with like female able to get pregnant. I don't, you know, like it's just so obvious that we already have examples within the system that you can just tell a doctor you want something and then get it, you know? I don't think something bad will happen in my OCD. I just get so uncomfortable that I can't do anything until I change my perceived problem. Okay, fair enough. I think most of the whole diagnosis required thing is a result of insurance companies making you jump through as many hoops as possible before paying. Fair enough. But it's not like insurance companies are happy about that. They're not going to expand it to other healthcare just because there's precedent. That's why we need a functional government, or better yet, universal healthcare. Right. Like, of course, just because there is this one instance where you are supposed to give people stuff without a diagnosis doesn't... Yeah, of course they want to spend as little money as possible, the insurance companies. Make everyone a cop. Problem solved. True. My fear is that I'll be reeling off classic Simpsons lines to some semi-sentient Care T800 who puts them in the same category as Laurel and Hardy gags. Birth control here is not covered or free for cis men, though, so it seems like there are still reasons in the system that I live under. Well, birth control for men is different than birth control for women. Like, birth control for men is like condoms, which are a product, so it makes sense why that's separate. It's not like cis women can get condoms either, even for free either, even though it's birth control for them too. Excuse me. I'm saying the reason that insurance companies accept is, quote, being a woman. But that's what I'm saying is like, oh, I guess you're diagnosed with being a woman, but not really. Like, meaningfully, you're not getting diagnosed with an illness. It's one of the only preventative medicine things that we don't... It's not like we're reactively treating it. There's also zero health risk with condoms. The same is not true of birth control. It's not actually true that there's zero health risk with condoms, because latex allergy is not very common, but there is some risk associated. I also got a UTI after using a glow-in-the-dark condom one time, so I think that there are, like, different lubes on the condoms can probably be harmful. I diagnose you with woman. That's what happens when you trans girls go in. I diagnose you with woman. It's like an inherent category that you're placed in that lets you have a thing for free. Sure. Yeah. Okay, everybody. We've hit the 3-hour mark. We've made some memes. We've had some jokes. We did a reaction that was very meta. I'm so meta, even this reaction. I'm allergic to a lot of lubes, not the latex itself. That's rough. I left my dildo by the window once, and when I closed the blinds, I realized that it was glow in the dark. Nice. High fives all around. Well, thank you all for joining me tonight. I appreciate you. As far as I know, we will be continuing on with our schedule of me seeing you again on Thursday. And I expect you to behave until then. Okay? You gotta behave. And don't die. Number one rule, don't die. Don't do it. I swear to God.